Hey, we back, baby. We back, baby. We back, baby. Let's go. What's happening, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well out there. Happy Saturday to you all. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. As always, sorry for the delay, folks, but unfortunately, these past two Saturdays in particular, been having a couple of audio technical issues today. I don't think it was the internet, even though it told me that you don't have an internet connection. I just had to restart my computer and then let it do all its processes and stuff, and that took a little while to get going again. But it was a quick fix. So sorry for the delay once again. I apologize, but I got to make sure everything is going okay. I hope you guys are doing well out there. It's another rainy, gloomy, dreary Saturday. High going up to 52 degrees in the New York area. Rain off and on all day, but it's all right. You know what I mean? Because you know what it is. April showers bring May flowers. I've been waiting on you to say that. There we go. Hey, you need to get you one of these. If you don't know nothing, at least you know the ledge. Ooh, shout out to Martin. Got the morning cup of Joe or Joanne. I think we went with another one of those foofy creamers. You know how we do. Congestion on the way, folks. Anyway, hope everybody is doing well. We got a very, good day for us today. We got Knicks at 3, so I'm excited about that. I mean, I don't love usually when the Knicks play the matinee games, but this ain't really a matinee. It's 3 o'clock, so they get a little time under their belt. They can kind of run through their normal processes as people. So it's probably a better showing, much better at 3 o'clock than at 12 or 1. So yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna have to be facing Mr. Rayford Trae Young. So you know how I feel about that dude and his crazy hair, dude. That dude looks like a troll doll for real. He's a troll and he looks like a troll doll. It makes sense. Anyway, but we will get into all of that. Shout out to all of you guys who are continuing the grind of, watching these Knicks throughout this whole season, rooting for the best, understanding the worst can happen, but knowing that the light is going to be better at the end of the tunnel. Because I'm telling you, the thing about this Knick team, I call them the Jekyll and Hyde team for a reason. Like, you never know what to expect with this team. I just don't know. Some people, well, the Cleveland game, for example, right? Some people might look at that as another loss against a good team in which technically you could say we got blown out in the fourth quarter because of the way Cleveland stormed back. And I could agree with that. But the thing that I want, so I want people to look at the positive but also understand the negative. So the positive is the Knicks played a back-to-back game, against Cleveland. Tom Thibodeau in Tom Thibodeau fashion played about 8 people, so it looked like maybe the guys were a little gassed in the fourth quarter. Cleveland had 3 days of rest, so that benefited them, right? And so the Knicks looked really good for almost 3 quarters, almost. And I like that. I like the fact that they came out, they had some fire. The first half was really good. They had some fire in their belly. They wanted to win the game. I mean, they took it serious. They showed up at least. But, the flip side of that is just that, they went out there, no Mitchell Robinson, no Jalen Brunson, no Deuce McBride, no campaign. So they're a little understaffed, undermanned. And that matters, right? The other thing too is you also understand that in that first quarter, for example, I mean, OG Anunoby was on fire, right? And every time, if I may be mistaken, but every time we've played any of these good teams, Cleveland, OKC, Boston, no Knick player has been that hot, right? So they've kind of struggled their way through things. That was the first time we actually had a player that was kind of hot. So I don't want to take anything away from the Knicks, but I also kind of feel like we had some luck that normally the team we're playing has. We had some on our side this time. So OG was unconscious. He was hitting all types of shots. Landry Shamet hit like a fall away three. And that like certain things were happening, right? And if those things didn't happen, could that have changed the momentum of the game? Could we have gotten blown out earlier? I don't know. But like I said, I just want people to think about that because certain things were going in our favor in that first half that normally haven't. And so we were fortunate. But they did play hard and they wanted to win the game. And unfortunately, just didn't have enough to play 4 quarters of basketball, especially on a back-to-back against a fresh team and down, 4 different players. So I don't know. The problem is it's almost like that silver lining thing that we hate to talk about. But I don't know how else to look at it. It's the truth. It is what it is. I hate making excuses for this Knicks team, and that's the unfair to us as fans. It's unfair to them as a team. But unfortunately, there's always a situation where we have to make excuses for the team because there's always something going on. Somebody's out or somebody's not playing up to their ability. And we're like, well, if this was happening or if this, it stinks. But in the Cleveland game, that was definitely the case. So, but I will tell you one thing, and I said this I forgot who I said this to, but if the Knicks somehow are able to get through the playoffs and face Cleveland again in a 7-game series with everybody healthy, Cleveland better watch out. Cleveland better watch out because they don't know what to expect from the Knicks. This was the best the Knicks have looked against them so far, which means the style of play is fine. The execution is fine. It's all about having the manpower and the energy, and they didn't have it. So you give them a 7-game series with people healthy. I think Cleveland might be surprised by the Knicks, but it's all if, and we got to get there first. But I like a healthy Knicks squad, especially after what we've seen with them without Brunson and what we might see with them with Brunson again. I think a lot of these teams better look out. A healthy Knicks team going into the playoffs is dangerous. So, all right, that's me off my soapbox. That's pretty much what I had to say. I once again would like to say to all the OG Anunoby haters out there, the apology list, the line, it forms back there. Just jump on. You know what I mean? I love watching, different people who have been roasting OG Anunoby all year, how all of a sudden, conveniently, they've stopped talking about OG and just switched to Macau. Not that Macau hasn't been getting it throughout the year anyway, but now Macau is their main focus. So, yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's a good problem to have. And I'm happy that OG has stepped up and become a lot more aggressive because the Knicks need it. The Knicks, look, we all know when we look at this Knicks team, I hope people out there realize this. I hope fans of Cat realize this. Cat is a phenomenal player. He's an incredible offensive player. But you can see now the difference in why he is not always viewed as a number one, even though he has number one talent. There's just something there that's not quite clicking that would allow him to go to the next level, right? To be a dominant force a night in and night out. He's just not. He's a really, really special player with tons of talent. He's just not dominant night in and night out when he does have all the skills to be. So there's something that's not quite clicking, right? And there's the reason why I kept saying all year long, stop trying to put these guys against each other. Stop trying to say that Cat is the best player on this Knicks team when he's not. The best player on this Knicks team to me and still is Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson shows you that he has different facets that help win basketball games. People look at the wrong thing, right? Is Cat a better all-around player than Brunson? Yes, because Cat can rebound. He's got the height. Cat can assist when, here and there. I say here and there only because I take away a little points from Cat, because Cat throws some wild passes sometimes. But he's got the ability. Cat is a phenomenal scorer at all levels. Can't take that away from him. Defensively, he's not that great. Jalen Brunson defensively is not that great. So they're kind of a wash there. But, all around, Cat can do more than Brunson. But Brunson has the intangibles, and Brunson also sees something in the course of a game that allows him to do something that affects the game. Now, you guys remember this. I'm just reiterating it so you guys can understand how I look at Brunson and why I'm saying this. 3 years ago when we first got Brunson, I said this then, right? I noticed him playing, and I noticed what he was doing. Now, I'm going to say it again because some people forget or some people don't know where I'm coming from. Jalen Brunson would watch the game and see how the game is moving, and because of that, he would do certain things. The Knicks would be down by 4 or 5 points, maybe, if you want to say that. The opposing team would come down, hit a 2, bring it up to 7. Brunson would see that and say, oh, 7, you know what I mean? Like, we got to get a bucket here. If we don't get a bucket, they can go up 9 or 10. Then it starts to get a little crazy. Brunson would come right down the court and shoot a 3. Like, go away from the offensive set, whatever movement Tibbs had planned, whatever passes, sequence we had planned, he would come down and fire up a 3. It's obviously, in most cases, people will say that's a bad shot, but he's not doing it to take a bad shot. He's doing it to cut that lead from 7 to 4 to make it more manageable. So the next time down, we don't have to worry about it starting to get crazy for us, for them. I shouldn't say us. I'm not getting paid. He would do that all the time. Or when the Knicks were up, adversely 5 points or 6 points, he would come down, fire a 3, or go straight to the basket for a quick 2. You're thinking, like, there's time on the shot clock. Why is he moving so urgently? It's to make the point that I want to catch the defense off guard, but more importantly, I want to score these 2 points to take the lead from 6 to 8 right away, right? Jalen Brunson is a very smart momentum player. He gets into rhythms and he can go on hot streaks, but he's also very cognizant of momentum. And when he sees how the momentum is shifting, or where you can gain from the momentum, he tries to take advantage. And that, to me, is a key aspect that, as a Knicks team, all the players we've had since I've been a Knicks fan, I mean, I'm not going back to the 90s. That's too far. I haven't seen guys in early 2000s and past that do that. He was the first player that I've seen come here and start doing that, like realizing these are momentum shifts. Let's take advantage, or let's stop the bleeding right now. And that is a key aspect of Jalen Brunson's makeup. That's one. The other thing is, like I said, we know he's a very efficient shooter when he gets going. He's a rhythm shooter and he can go on streaks. The other thing is he has the clutch gene. He doesn't mind being the person to be the GOAT, the heel, whatever. He'll do it. And I just feel like that is what separates him from anybody else on this Knicks team. It is. You guys already saw, like, earlier in the year when we played. My memory is kind of shot. I can't necessarily remember what team it was. I feel like it was a blue team, but whatever. Anyway, there was a point where we were down by 1 point. And, there was only seconds left on the clock, and, a few seconds left in the game. All we needed was a 2, and Jalen Brunson could have took the 2. No, but he took a corner 3 from the sideline and put us up 2. That's a risky shot, especially when you only need 2 points. But he didn't care. That was the shot he felt like he could hit. He took it, and he knocked it down. That's a lot, because if he misses that shot, most likely the game is over and we lose. Not for nothing. So that's the type of stuff that I say is the difference between Jalen Brunson and any other player on this current Knicks team. And it's no offense to anybody. It's something that he has. And to me, that's something you can't teach. It's something inside you. That's what makes you the best, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's the best in the league, I'm just saying he might be the best on our team because he just has that extra thing. But whatever. Anyway, I'm off the soapbox for real this time. Let's get into the chat, talk a little bit about it, and then we'll crank up the show. You know where we go. We got an early one today. Obviously, the Knicks play at 3:00, so I mean, I can get a good show in here, so I don't have to really worry about condensing it. It'll work out fine. Shout out to Crim's dad in the building. Oh man, what's going on, my brother? He chimed in on X and then he chimed in on YouTube. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. A member of the SKF Army. Salute to you, my brother. He said it's Saturday morning live with your host, Ron. Appreciate you, bro. Let me take a sip for that one. This is my morning blend, my congestion blend. Good stuff. Shout out to you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Shout out to Walter Blackman in the building. Salute, Walter. Good to see you. He said, I hope we come out ready to play 48 minutes of focused defense. I'm with you on that. Joey Rip 'em Up Sports is in the building. So what up to Crims? He says we need a strong showing this weekend with El Capitano coming back. Facts. It's going to be interesting because we don't know what game he's coming back for. He can either come back today or he can come back tomorrow. He's probably not going to play both the back-to-backs. So it's all about what he feels comfortable with, what he chooses to go with. So we'll see. I mean, as a competitor, I think he would want to come back to face Trey because Trey's talked too much stuff in his career. So, but you know, we'll see. Shout out to Lena Franklin in the building. Let's go, Lena. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you as always. Oh, wait. Sorry, my bad. Let me just read what she said. What up, family? We are excited for the playoffs, and I know the Westchester Knicks lost their playoff, but they did have a good season. I am proud of them. Yeah, I mean, not for nothing. Westchester's been pretty good, man. In G League, they won. I think they've won 2 times in the past 5 years or something like that. They've been pretty good. So it stinks, but it is what it is. Shout out to my guy, Uncle Freezy from the Blorence Tears Network. Salute to you. Appreciate you. And listen to what he says, y'all. Like button is smashed. That's right. Just coming in, smashing it on the intro. Like as soon as you enter, hit that like button. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. It don't hurt nobody. Y'all could do it. Some of y'all forget what it looks like. Let me show you. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. All right, let me see here. My brother at arms, Andios in the building. What's going on, Andios NYK? Salute to you, my bro. He said, Knick fans, if you're loving the content, make sure to give the like button a click, subscribe to the channel, relax, and soak in the experience. Appreciate you, my brother. Good to see you as always. And please, guys, go support Andios on Instagram whenever you have a chance. And he definitely appreciates the love. And you won't be sorry for it because he definitely brings the content. Shout out to Nostalgic Nick. Says blessings, SKF. Blessings to you, my brother. Appreciate you. Ivory 10 is in the building. What up, Ivory? Said Knicks won't be serious contenders until we have another dangerous threat with the ball in their hands next to Brunson. Might be right. I mean, we'll see. I hope you're not, but you might be right. NYC B-Ball 08 is in the building. What's going on, NYC? Said game day, let's go. I did have some of that today. Yes, I did. I appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, no, unfortunately, I already had it ready. If it wasn't for the internet issue, I'd have been rocking. But yeah, we good. Shout out to Louisiana Knicks in the building. What up, Louisiana? Salute Ron in the chat. Appreciate you. Shout out to David Smith in the building. Said, salute to Ron in the chat. Today we get to watch the best elite playmaker, unlimited shooting range, point guard Trae Young, 24 points per game, 12 assists, 88% from the free throw line, NBA assist leader, perfect fit for the Knicks. And no defense. You never forget that. No defense. Shout out to the Cowboys in the building. This team is stressful. What's up, Ron? What's up to you? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Dripmore is in the building. He says, "Yo, Ron, what up, Duke? What up, Dripmore? Preferred barber of the Still Knicks fans crew, as well as the Knicks community. Salute to you. Let's go." Oh, hey. Well, happy early birthday, Walter. I will, since we do have a Monday show, I will wish you a real birthday on Monday as well. But salute to you, Walter. Wishing you the best, man. Another year is a beautiful thing, and I'm glad that you are here and that I'm, in somewhat form here to share it with you. Appreciate you, brother. Mets, Knicks fans, let's go is in the building. Salute Ron, chat, Knicks game day. Let's go. That's right. Shout out to Glamour Knicks in the building. Let's go, Glamour. Said Knicks got to stay focused, no slip ups. If we're staying in the third seat, time's ticking. Last week of the regular season, let's handle business and get ready for the real grind. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well as always. Good to see you. Shout out to my guy JJ in the building. What up, JJ? Appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the SKF Army. Said Bridges not showing up versus elite teams needs to be a conversation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, the whole thing, the last game, 6 shots. I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't put my finger on that one. Shout out to Wolverines 1986. What's going on? Salute. I cannot believe what I'm reading. Someone actually wants to trade Captain Brunson to the Hawks for Trae Young. We have our point guard. Why would our Knicks fans recommend something that this outrageous? Listen, hey man, people are entitled to their opinion. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if that makes us better. I'm not sure about that. I mean, there's only so much ball movement you can have, right? I mean, getting to 30 assists per game would be great. 40 assists is really nice. But like outside of that, people got to knock down their shots. So as much as you want your point guard to move the ball and create opportunities for players got to hit these shots. Shout out to George Jones in the building. What up, George? Said still a 50-win season to put things in perspective. It is true. And in third place right now, so can't be mad at it. Considering where we were 5 years ago. I'm with you on that. Very true. Shout out to Ran Rock in the building. Said, nah, it's the coach. My throat feels like trash, y'all. Not good. Feels a little better today than it was yesterday, but I'm speaking a lot more today, so it is what it is, guys. That's another thing. I will go as far as my voice takes me. All right. Okay. David says Cat is injured and coach is running offense through Brunson. Nostalgic Nick says Cat is the best player. He just don't want to be the number one. Well, I already gave my spiel on it. I just don't think Cat can be the true number one because of certain intangibles that he may be lacking at the time. It's not like Cat didn't have a whole team of his own in Minnesota where he was supposed to be the number one option. Certain things didn't work out, so they decided to bring in Rudy Gobert to move him to a different position, and then they wound up drafting Anthony Edwards as their true number one. So I'm just saying. Plus, it's very hard to be a number one option as a big. It's not easy. certain guys can pull it off, and Joel Embiid did a good job at it for a while. But remember, they wound up getting a fellow by the name of Tyrese Maxey, who's a damn good player. The only true number one big that I know that's out there is the Joker, because he can do everything offensively in the game, and his ability to pass the ball takes him to another level. But I think that's the only way that you could really have a true number one big consistently every game in and game out. You got to be able to play that way. Shout out to Prezi, the boss in the building. Nah, Tibbs is stopping Cat from dropping 50 a night because he must showcase Brunson even when he's not in the lineup. Oh, I see what you did there, Prezi. I mean, so I don't just look at Cat for his time with the Knicks when I'm talking to you about what I think Cat is, David. Cat played like 8 seasons or 9 seasons with the Minnesota Timberwolves. There was no Jalen Brunson over there. That was his team. And he went from being the number one option to the number 2 option for a reason. So I'm not looking at it just because of his time with the Knicks. I'm looking at him as a player in this league. That's all I'm saying. But I don't I don't know why you feel the need or the sense that there has to be some extreme glorification or validation for Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is one of the best players in the NBA. He's top 20 easy. He might even be top 10 right now because of this season with the Knicks. But does that mean that he is the best at everything he does? No. If he's not the best at everything he does that take away from who he is? No. He's still a very good basketball player. I mean, great basketball player, actually. I just don't know why you feel the need to always focus and emphasize that Cat is the best player on this New York Knicks team. If you're going to tell me that somebody is the best player on a team, then you got to show me, the proof is in the pudding. You got to show me all the instances where he was better than everybody else on the team. You got to show me all the instances where he took the reins and willed us to a victory in the fourth quarter. You got to show me where, because of him, we won the game more times than not. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a couple games we've won because Karl Anthony Towns was out there on the court. But can you say we won more games because of what Karl Anthony Towns did in the fourth quarter of games in comparison to what Jalen Brunson's done in the fourth quarter of games? Like, I think, I realize that whenever I have a opposite opinion or take of someone, they feel like that means that I'm not understanding of their point, or that I'm just trying to big up this other person. I am very happy that this Knicks team has Jalen Brunson on it. You guys don't understand that we didn't have this type of player before. I already explained to you what he does out there on the court that we haven't had since the 90s. And I don't even know if somebody did it the way Brunson does it and the style he does it, but nobody else was doing this for us. Brunson looks at the game and tries to pick spots to change momentum. I couldn't tell you anybody else that I realized that was doing that. And I think that's a trait. I think that's a gift, especially the fact that he's very clutch too. So it's not about whether or not one is that much better than the other. Jalen Brunson is 6'1", 6'2". Can he give you 10 rebounds a night? No. If he was 6'5", 6'6", could he give you 10 rebounds a night? I think he could. Jalen Brunson, if you look at him, he averages around 4 or 5 rebounds, something like that. So it's not that his effort and will is there every game. He's just like a little vertically challenged in some cases, right? He gives you 7 assists per game, right? He's the point guard. The ball is in his hands a lot, right? I get it. Could Karl Anthony Towns give you 7 assists a game if he wanted to? Probably. But what makes them the same is their abilities to do so much out there. What is the difference between them is the intangibles. You can call it whatever you want to call it. That's all I'm saying. Like, look at it how you want, but the facts are the facts. Jalen Brunson is a winner. He's been a winner at every stop. He hasn't won an NBA championship yet, but I do believe that he has what the makeup to do it. Let's move on. Vernon J. Smith in the building. He said, thanks for the shout out last week. Here's the link to my performance at the Garden for the Knicks Blazers. And the most important part is that we got the W. Nice. Oh, it probably won't allow you to put a link in there. But if you want to email me, Vernon, I will put it in there for you. Here's my email. Yeah, Vernon, if you want to email me that link, I'll put it in the chat for you so it can be displayed and people can click on it. Appreciate you. All right. Let me just breeze through a couple more so I can put that link out there. JJ Villain in the building. Appreciate you. Is Brunson playing or just coming back to practice? He's already been back to practice. He practiced yesterday. It's a choice between if he's going to play today or tomorrow. I don't know if they've decided yet because he's not going to play both games because it's a back-to-back. It's just whether he wants to play this first one today or if he wants to wait one more day and start playing tomorrow. So don't know yet. Shout out to Deron Wayne, a member of the SKF Army. He says it's Saturday and SKF. Salute to you, my brother. Shout out to Lonnie Meeks in the building. He says, to your point, Ron, at times, a couple of times down the floor, when the team misses a score, JB would know we need the points next time. He will look to score himself. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it seems like it's a little thing, but it's really not, because you'd be surprised how that keeps us out of getting into bigger holes. And because he's so efficient, usually with his shots, that's a guarantee. Let me see, not guaranteed, but more times than not, we're going to get points out of it. And that helps. Right. I need like a cough drop or something, man. Something. Jeez. Shout out to Kev, the co-host of Knicks and Ish. Shout out to you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. He said, what up, Ron? Salute, bro. Salute. And please go show some love to Knicks and Ish, guys. If y'all haven't checked it out, you won't be disappointed, man. They're a good bunch over there. They have a good time together, good camaraderie. Miss Knicks is over there as well. Shout out to her. Shout out to Animal Lex in the building. Salute everyone. Ron, Knicks have 2 back-to-back games in the next 5 games. It feels the NBA did it on purpose going into the playoff. Yeah, it's crazy scheduling, man. Crazy scheduling, bro. I don't know what that is. All right. Shout out to Miguel P in the building. Salute to you, a member of the SKF Army. It says salute Ron and Andios in the chat. My guy Jay Chosen is in the building. Salute, Jay. All right. Let me put the invite out there while I'm going through the rest of this. Shout out to my guy Kareem Grant in the building. Salute. He says salute everyone to my bro Ron. Much love. Much love to you, my brother. And thanks for being a member of the SKF Army. Salute. Shout out to Anna Grill in the building. Said happy Saturday, Ron and SKF chat. Appreciate you. Shout out to Kerry Cox in the building. Who has a better career thus far, Trae Young or Luka? Oh, remember that? Remember they got traded for each other? Mm-hmm. That's an interesting conversation there. I don't know. I mean, Luka looks like he's had the better, right? But when you look at the numbers, they're pretty good numbers all around. Let me see. Okay. Shout out to my guy Randu in the building. What up, Randu? Appreciate you. 1973, another member of the SKF Army. Says salute, Ron. Cat needs to learn how to post up, then turnover is killing me. Yeah. Shout out to Ant Doobie, 1130 Entertainment. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. It's a learned behavior, brother. It's a learned behavior. Taking a lot of time to get this. Didn't come naturally. Shout out to Knicks fans. Nick fan 518. Do you think moving Josh to the bench makes sense and start Deuce to help spread the floor and point of attack defense? Yeah, I think that's something that the Knicks are going to do, especially in the playoffs if once Deuce is healthy. Because I just think Deuce just gives them more versatility. He plays good enough defense that he's right there with Josh. He can't rebound like Josh, but if he makes up for it on the offensive side, not being being a threat, more of a threat than Josh is, I think that helps the Knicks overall in that starting lineup. Because that's what it feels like at some points. The defense just points to, let's get the ball out of everybody's hands and force them to give it to Josh. Because we know Josh is not the greatest shooter. Josh has moments where he can knock it down, but not always. The other thing is sometimes Josh is too quick with his decision making, and because of that, he does stuff that can result in a turnover. Right, so we need Josh to slow down a little bit sometimes. But outside of that, like I think that's kind of the thing that is most important. We have to look at. Let's see. Hey Ron, shout out to Louisiana. He says, "Hey Ron, what changes would you make if any of this team doesn't get past the second round? And what's your thoughts on the KD rumors?" Good question. Well, if the Knicks don't get past the second round, I think that this team, because it's still in its infancy, being together with Macau and with Cat here, it depends on what happens, right? If Macau goes into the playoffs and he plays the way he's been playing, like, good games, maybe a stinker or two, but plays good defense, does things to affect the game positively, then I'm not worried about Macau. I'll leave him the way he is, right? But if he goes out there and he stinks like the first, the Knicks can come out of the first round, but but Macau could stink. If that happens, I'm gonna look at him, right? And then we go into the second round, we get knocked out, and Macau's just not playing up to par. I'll be honest with you guys. I know, it's not a popular opinion in some cases. I'll move on from Macau right away. Right away, while his value still means something, while he's still viewed as a top player, like a good player in the league. If he don't step up and play well, I'm not saying superstar level. I'm just play well in the playoffs. If he don't play good in the first round, and then we get into the second round, if he don't play well, I'm moving on from him in the offseason because we got to give him money, right? Forget the 5 picks we gave up for him. It's about the fit, right? We brought him here to hope that the fit would work and he would be versatile enough to give us that Swiss Army knife type thing that we haven't had. With the emergence of OG Anunoby stepping up, becoming more aggressive, you already got Jalen Brunson. You already got Cat. If you decided to make a move with Macau for a better fit, it wouldn't hurt you. It wouldn't be a setback. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying if he doesn't come to play in the playoffs the way we hope he would, I would move him in the offseason right away. I would not mess around and play around with it. I'm doing it before anything changes, before his value goes down, or before we get linked to him for another season and have to give him that extension. So that would be my thing. Now, if everything goes well and the players go out there and play the way we expect them to play, but it's not enough, and we don't get past the second round, and we get embarrassed, if you will, then Tibbs got to go. I say embarrassed because what if we get into the second round, we take it to 7 and we lose in the seventh game? I can't be mad at that, yo. Again, because most likely if we're playing in the second round, it's against Boston. I mean, as Knicks fans, we can't be mad if we lose in a game 7 against Boston. But if we get embarrassed, if we get swept or we lose 4-1 and it's just embarrassing, these games are blowouts, I'm Tibbs is done in my eyes. I'm moving on. Tibbs ain't the guy. If that's the case, Tibbs is out of here. So those would be the only changes that I would think about making. Everybody else to me is solidified. Cat's here, OG's here, Jalen Brunson's here. Of course, the other thing, we already talked about. Campaign most likely won't be back. Landry Shaman is still working on another contract right now. He's been playing a little better lately, guys. So I'm sure the Knicks are looking at that for a value pick. Like, if he can continue to do this, they might want to keep him around. And Precious Achua, I just don't know if Precious has done enough for the Knicks to bring him back and have to pay him more money. He got $6 million this year. If he comes back, he's not going to come back for another $6 million. He's going to want a little bit more money. I just don't know if the Knicks warrant him as enough of a stable factor to keep him for one more year after this year. So I think Precious and Payne will be gone. And outside of that, those are the givens to me. Outside of that, I don't know what the Knicks will choose to do, how they choose to flip the team around. And as far as Kevin Durant, listen, guys, I'll be honest, I don't like this at all. I think the Kevin Durant stuff is BS. I think Kevin Durant should not be associated with his New York Knicks team at all, at any way possible. I think it would be a terrible mistake if they did that. Now, I mean, it depends. If that's all that matters to you and you don't care about anything else and all you're trying to do is win a championship by any means necessary, and you think Kevin Durant is the guy to make it happen, you do what you got to do. I personally wouldn't be in favor of it. I wouldn't love it. I don't like him as a person. You guys already know that. As a player, he's a special player. But even how special he is as a player, I also look at the fact that, he's never won anything without Steph Curry, right? I also look at the fact that he's gotten hurt. He's had a terrible injury. He's come back from it. But he does get injured now. He's older. And who's to say that the Knicks trade and give up some assets for him? He comes here and he may play the way you want him to play, but he may not be on the court that much. He might get hurt. And if your coach is still going to be Tom Thibodeau, most likely he will get hurt. So how do you feel about that? If you go out and get Kevin Durant and you changing the coach too, maybe that's different. But if Tom Thibodeau is going to be here, the way he likes to push his players, and don't get me wrong, Kevin Durant is one of those players that he does play a lot of minutes. I just could see it kind of backfiring. And I just hate the fact that I wish teams had some dignity, right? The media and players try to make you the laughing stock of the league, and then you turn things around and get to the point of respectability, to the point where you are on everybody's list all of a sudden. Everybody's show. Every week you're mentioned. Every trade that happens, your name comes up. And now you want to go get the player that thought you guys weren't good enough for his services. The player that said that, New York didn't have anything going on. There ain't nothing sexy going on over there. The player that just didn't respect you and trolled you with his troll account, his fake account. That's the guy you want to go get? It's not for me. I mean, I still support the Knicks. I don't know how much I would support them, to be honest with you. I'm just being honest. I don't know if I would support them in the same way. I mean, I'm going to do my shows and stuff like that. I don't know if I would watch all the games as much as I used to if Durant is here. But it is what it is. That's just how I feel. I can't stand that dude, and I can't stand somebody that disrespects my team and then later wants to join my team, or my team feels we need him to win. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, it's just not the way I'm built. But I hear you though. Shout out to Jermaine Sims in the building. Salute. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. I said, get a grip, people. Cat ain't it, and it's because he won't get on the low block. He thinks he's Giannis. Cat needs to work on defense and his turnovers. Yeah, that's true. Ron, shout out to Kev, says some Knicks fans are ungrateful, unfortunately, bro. Yeah. Joey Rip 'em Up says 7.5 assists. Point guard is not selfish. I agree. I love looking back at the old stats and seeing how many times the Knicks had 30 plus assists or 40 assists with Jalen Brunson being the point guard. But I don't know. Some people forget. Shout out to Krillian's Underlow. Salute, Ron. What's going on, Krillian's? Hope you're doing well. BW1728 in the building. BW, appreciate you. Hope you guys are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button as well. Cat is empty stats on offense and terrible on defense. I mean, I hear you. I mean, he's pretty bad on defense, but the offensive side of it, man, Cat can be so dominant out there, guys. You don't understand, like, the ability that Cat has to space the floor, but also take you off the dribble, get into the lane, shoot a little midi, or take it all the way to the basket. And he finishes so light, like a guard with the left, with the right. He can do so many different things. It's just a beautiful thing to watch that we feel like we want more. You know what I mean? But I won't take away anything from his talent, bro. The guy is like he's actually 7 foot. I was about to call him a 6'11". He's like a 7 foot long guard in a way. Yeah. Brunson's defense stinks. Address it. Everybody knows Brunson's defense stinks. Why do I have to address it when we all know that? It seems like I have to bring up Cat's defense because some people don't realize that Cat's defense stinks. And you know how bad Brunson's defense is? Did you see the game against the Cavs? Brunson wasn't there. What about the game prior to that when he wasn't there? Wait, has Brunson missed about 2 or 3 weeks of the season right now? So how can I talk about his defense when he's not playing defense? You know whose defense I can talk about? Cats. Because I've seen it, or should I say I didn't see it? Ooh. Do I have a dun? Yeah. But let's move on. Because like I said, I don't criticize our Knicks players just to criticize them. I love my team. I want them to do better. I ain't going to just, talk trash about them for the sake of doing it. George Jones says, yes, I agree, George. We got to put the hate to the side and enjoy the season, man. I agree. What I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. And I apologize, guys, if you hear noise in the background. I have company, family members staying with us for past week or so. And yeah, I'm trying to get through these shows. You know how it is. Hey. Shout out to Wiz BKLA in the building. The team is out of rhythm against elite teams, just like your dancing skill. Oh, you crazy, man. Look how we do. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Oh, sorry. I thought I was in. You got served or something. Watch out. My bad. Shout out to Michael Dollar in the building. Dollar Bill in the building. Salute to you. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Appreciate you. Hey, shout out to Jeremy Nussbaum in the building. What up, Jeremy? Good to see you. Salute, Ron. Hey, look at D-Rex in the building. What's going on, D-Rex? Hope you're doing well, my guy. Shout out to Nick Yak. You know where it's at. He said, I believe we see Wright getting playing time before Kolek. Yeah, that's the Thibodeau way, dude. You are 100% right about that. There's just no way around it. Plus, you know, I looked at him, especially in that Cavaliers game, and you could kind of see, like, the other thing that's hurting Tyler Kolek, to be honest, is not the fact that he doesn't play great defense, because he has had moments in these little spell that he's been playing. He's been getting his swipe on, you know, swiping, no swiping. He's been doing a couple things, and he stepped up. He got a block in one game. Problem is his shot is not falling. That is what's hurting Tyler Kolek. He's not scoring. You know, because remember when Tyler Kolek came to the Knicks preseason, first few games that he did play in regular season, he was knocking down shots. When he went to the G League, had a couple triple doubles, I think, or at least one triple double. But he was getting around 20-something points. He had a couple games where he got 30-plus points. In college, I think he averaged around, was it? I don't remember. Was it 15 or 17 points? I don't know. Something around there. But he also shot 46 or 47% from the field. He shot 39% from three. So it's not that he doesn't have the ability. It's not that he's not a good shooter. It's just that he doesn't have confidence in his shot. He needs more repetition, and he doesn't feel comfortable taking it at the moment because these games matter. Excuse me. And he knows his playing time is a little limited. So I want to put that out there. I got somebody waiting backstage, but I also want to say what's up to HRM the Great. Appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the SKF Army as always. Let me see. I'm almost at the bottom here. Hey, shout out to Crim's dad. A member for 6 months. Re-up. Appreciate you. He said, even Sick Ron is dedicated to SKF and his fans. We try. We try, bro. It's not easy, man. We try. And Stream Elements is letting me know that, yeah, Crim's dad is out here in these streets. Is it Knicks related? No, it's not Knicks related. I don't know. I think I just woke up, got like a little bit of a nasal drip a couple days ago or something. I don't know, man. My allergies have been starting to begin getting a little crazy, and I haven't been taking any pills. I took a pill yesterday for the first time, the second time so far. But yeah, I think that's what's going on. We'll see. All right. What is that? Hot grab a 718. What up? Okay. Sorry, I'm breezing through. Double D, please, no Kevin Durant. I hear you. Yeah, Jay says KD 5 years ago or more. Yeah, I hear that. And Ivory says, if New Yorkers want the coach who quit in the team in Van Gundy, then why wouldn't they want the guy that shot so over the franchise when Baby went? Oh, Double D says acquiring Kevin Durant can set this team back for years, salary cap wise and personnel and draft pick wise. Yeah, and eventually he'll become a cancer in the clubhouse, in the locker room. So yeah, I would stay away from that dude. But I'm not against people who feel there's a reason to get him. He's not for me. Yes, we will. Don't you worry about it. I am Oni. Can we talk about we have been and we will. Jet Life for Life in the building. Salute. OG is the number 2B option on this team. He's definitely playing like it. But we also got to see how he plays when Brunson comes back. Can he still be as aggressive, or will he start deferring because Brunson is back? Some of these guys do it happenstance, like, oh, the captain's back, let me start getting him the ball. No, you got to remain aggressive. You got to get him the ball, of course, but you have to go get yours as well. Wolverines 1986, Ron, do you seem to hate Cat more than everyone else, to be fair? No, I don't. The only reason, see, Wolverines, thank you for being here, and I appreciate you. I don't know if you've been here long enough to know the back and forth history of the chat, but the reason why I talk so much about Cat is because someone in the chat continues to talk about Cat so much. So really, the only reason I even talk about him is because the other person talks about him so much. I feel like I have to say something in reference to what's going on. So other than that, I wouldn't talk about him that much at all. I'm actually pretty happy with what he does. I am critical of his defense and of his ticky-tack fouls that he picks up. But outside of that, I have no problem with Cat because I see Cat for what he is. Cat is a fantastic number 2 option on this New York Knicks team that allows for everybody else to eat. Imagine being a number 2, but you can make everybody else better by your presence alone, right? Cat being out there scoring, moving around the court, hitting threes, doing what he does makes everybody else better because if he's knocking it down, the defense has to pay attention to him, which allows open shots for everybody else on the team. Cat's huge, but I can't take away the fact that his defense is suspect and his decision making with regards to picking up these fouls is horrendous. He picks up really bad fouls for no reason whatsoever. Trying to steal the ball from a guard who has handles. Like, what are we doing? All right, I'm done. But you know what I mean. Shout out to Arthur Sunny Breeze Newell. And I think that is pretty much it. Let me get these guys up here now. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Shout out to Margaret Edwards in the building. What up, Margaret? Let's go. Knicks don't need another Jimmy Butler who continue to be toxic in each team he goes and wants out. I agree with that. Shout out to D. Coolus in the building. Salute to you. Shout out to Ron Mills in the building. Salute, Ron. Coach Sire in the building. What up, Coach? Good to see you. Okay, then now I am really at the bottom. All right, let me get these guys up here. All right, boom. Boom.
Yo, Jay, what's up?
Hey, why did I there we go. What's going on, fellas?
You gotta be in the middle, bro. What happened? I mean, come on.
I don't know what happened there. It's messing me up here. But we are right.
Let's try a new one. Peace and blessings to the entire chat. Ron, it's good to see you. I didn't see you last time. Lifing, you know, single father being, you know, it's tough.
I hear you, brother. I hear you, man.
Trying to take care of business, man. You know what it is. I love the I hate missing the show. You know, I love being on.
But you're doing your thing, man, and I think they appreciate you. I don't know how often they say it, but even if they don't say it, I feel like they know it and they feel that way. So keep doing your thing, brother.
Tell my 16-year-old that. I appreciate that. Unbelievable. I love it. Now you're like,
well, you know, that's that age too. That's that. You remember that age. You know how that is.
Man, I am so blessed. She's nothing like I was. My son is nothing like I was. None of them are. I'm listening.
You lucked out.
I hear you. I hear you.
Also, there's no way that and there's no disrespect to I believe it was Wolverines or whatever. But there's no way that Wolverines was around long enough to understand the only reason why Ron is I wouldn't say that you're firing back on Cat or you're disrespecting him. It's a conversation that's been evolving for months, you know. So, you know, and then let's be honest, man. We could evaluate what's in front of us right now. So everything that's happening right now is everything minus Brunson right now. So that's who we can talk about the most, you know.
And you want to look at things differently. Let's look at it real quick, real different. And this ain't gonna happen, but I'm just saying. Say the Knicks decided, this is all hypothetical, right? Say the Knicks decided to move Hart to the bench and they put Deuce at the shooting guard, right? Say the Knicks traded, this would not be happening. Say the Knicks traded Jalen Brunson to OKC for SGA. So now the Knicks have SGA, Deuce McBride, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Karl Anthony Towns at the 5. Game in and game out, everybody out there plays defense. SGA is a phenomenal player, right? Nobody's saying anything negative about SGA. I guess he shares the ball. I don't know how much he shares the ball, but But who would be the weak link on the team defensively?
Josh Hart. Oh well, he's not in the starting.
Yeah, we can't.
No, he's not in the starting 5. And that's starting 5.
Right.
So my whole thing is, as much as you want to talk about Brunson and his defense and whatever,
Cat defense is ass.
Yeah, it's still there. Like we can't not look at it. It's there. So all we got to do is try our best.
It is actually statistically his worst year of rim protection. He's never been a good rim protector, but it's actually his worst year this year.
Right, and but part of that too, D-Rex, is because of how Tibbs is using him. Right, because he statistically he won't look as bad in rim protection because Minnesota, once they got Gobert, was not putting him in those same situations anymore because they know he looked bad there. So that's the difference. Hey, maybe that's something to think about, David Smith. Maybe
I'm not saying he's a good defender, but it is even.
Oh no, I get it. No, I hear you. I know where you're going. Maybe that's another thing you got to look at, David Smith. Cat has always still been a bad defender. He just doesn't look as bad recently in the recent years because Gobert is in the spots that Cat is in for us. So you don't get to see it as much. I'm just saying these are little things. I know I'm not saying, and when I say this stuff, I'm not saying it to be silly. I'm not thinking anybody doesn't know what they're talking about. I'm just saying, look at it for what it is. Cat is asked to do stuff for this Knicks team that he wasn't asked to do for the past 3 years with Minnesota, because Gobert's been there 3 or 4 years. Yeah. So come on, man.
Can I just jump in on this one because I think it's a lot to say. First of all, Cat is not even close to a good defender. Let's be 100% honest here. I'm not defending him at all, but I think a few things need to be put into context. One, I think just Cat on the floor is such a big target that it's just impossible for him to have the same defensive responsibility as any other player. Like any coach sees Cat on the floor, they're telling the player, and even the player is going to be like, yo, that guy cannot get going. If that guy gets going, you lose. You know what I mean? He's such a big target the second he steps on the floor that his defensive responsibilities are so high, The Knicks run the highest percentage of drop coverage as part of their defense of any team in the league this year, which Cat is not good at. He's very bad at. And you're asking him to do a lot, really. If you think about it, you're asking him to put up crazy offensive numbers. He's doing another weird thing. He's shooting his highest percentage from 3, but his lowest volume. So he's shooting well, actually, but he's not getting many touches. And he also is tasked with playing a pretty decent defense, which he doesn't do. Let's be honest. But it's still a lot of responsibility on his one shoulders, and he's playing a lot of minutes with probably an injury. So I'm not defending him as a defender. Let me just be clear. But it's more complicated than just bad good,
If you don't mind, let me piggyback. He's not a center. He's not supposed to center. He didn't come here to play center, period.
Yeah.
Next line. Hi, Crim's dad. Next line. Brunson also doesn't play good defense. So we're not here just smashing Cat's name into the ground on defense. But Brunson brings a whole different intangible to the game. That's just creates his own shot, creates other people's shot, does all this other stuff. Cat's the whole point of bringing Cat here was to play him next to Mitch if Mitch was healthy enough to play. He's a great power forward. He's not supposed to be playing center.
He can sometimes, but it shouldn't be his main job at all.
If he plays center, he should be in a unit that is running and gunning and trying to keep up with those athletic teams, because that's what Mitch is not going to be doing.
He's not even good at that either, bro. I don't think he has a center like that, really.
It's tough.
It would be Hakordi, honestly, but yeah.
I agree with that. Then you look at these guys, right? Like for most of the year, Cat was leading rebounds. He has, I believe he's tied now for second, but and I can't say this enough, started center as an all-star for the East. Brunson at the point guard. So no one, I don't think that I think the whole point to, just from what I'm hearing before you brought me on, is that we're Knicks fans, right? So we don't gotta bash one over. We don't have to pin a player against a player, especially if they're not even in nearly the same position. And I think that's what's going on here. And then it becomes annoying, and then it becomes like, I get it, bro. You're a super Cat fan. It's all good, but when something is said enough, we're human, right? We hit a boiling point, and at some point you start to say to yourself, all right, bro, this is sounding ridiculous to a common sense. And that is, out of the four major smarts, common sense is the most important one. And if you see that, of course, he's an amazing offensive talent, the best ability is availability. That goes for Mitch and anybody else who continues to get hurt. That Brunson is the best signing in my lifetime. And that right now, OG, right now, because we only have Brunson not been playing, has been playing out of his mind. Those things to me are factual. They're factual. Go look at the numbers. Go look at all these other things. Now, the eyeball test will tell you, that's one of my favorite tests, that Cat goes for the okie doke, he goes for the pump fake, he goes for the ticky-tack fouls, he goes for all those things, and then he's out of the game early, often.
Yeah.
But, and this is why I continue to say this, and I don't care what, this is just my opinion, right? Everything is people's opinion unless it comes with hard fact numbers. That's why I believe last year's team was tougher. We had a bench, we had a starting unit. The problem with last year's team is that we were continuously hurt. Now we are coming to the having a full team. Let's see what we do with it. Let's see who shows up and who doesn't. They don't call him Captain Clutch for no reason. And they haven't been calling Cat soft for all his career for no reason. I'm just saying, that's just how it looks. That's how it is.
I do want to say the fouls, I started to notice them more recently. At first I was like, just he's big, he's goofy, whatever, he has a size 20 shoe. But I think in the last game he played, in the first quarter, bro, he scratched someone's face, basically. He went like that at someone's face.
Like a cat?
Earlier. Like a cat, like Catwoman, Catman. I don't know what it was, but it was the most obvious foul that's it's not a block. It's not like you're reaching for the ball. It's something in between that was not productive, in any way. Obvious foul. And then he does that, but then sometimes when someone goes to the basket, he doesn't have his hands up, And it's I remember I went to some of the games this season, and it seems like he like forgets to put his hands up. Like the person goes by him, then he's like, oh, I have to, like he remembers afterwards or something. I don't know what it is with him, but like he's just definitely never. Even a good defender would be an improvement for him. But the weird fouls I started to notice for sure. It's like something is just not right about how he fouls sometimes. It's not smart,
Yeah, JJ says
veteran. Sorry.
Oh no, you good. JJ says Hart isn't a good defender either. Like, so the difference with Hart is Hart can be a good defender when he wants to, when he locks in.
Not on the perimeter.
Hart does take, but there's something to that too. I believe that Hart is not as good of a defender as he can be because he is a rebounder. If Hart wasn't getting kudos and expected to rebound the way he rebounds at his position, I think Hart would stay home. I think he would stay on the perimeter. He wouldn't cheat trying to get rebounds. I think he would be a better defender. He wouldn't be as good of a rebounder, though. He would be further away from the basket a lot of times. He wouldn't even be in position to get some of the rebounds he gets. But it's all about his rebounding prowess that I think affects him, because you guys know, I mean, we've all talked about it. Sometimes he gives the guy at the three-point line way too much room. And I know some people say that I'm gonna say you're half right when you say that. Some people say sometimes he'd be, taking a break and getting himself a breather and allowing guys to, he doesn't hustle all the time to do that, to get his that might be true, but I also feel like he's always cheating because he is a 6'4" player. He's always cheating to try to get in position to get a rebound. And that hurts us defensively. And I hope that in the playoffs, knowing that we do have Mitchell Robinson here, I mean, come on, man. I'm a player. I'm a fan. I ain't a coach. I'm sure that one of them 50,000 coaches behind can say, listen, we appreciate your rebounding. If you can get it, get it. Right now, we're focused on the lockdown defense. Guard your man. Don't worry about it.
Do you think he actually can get to that level defensively, though?
Do I what?
Do you think he can actually get to that level defensively?
If you remember his first season with the Knicks, his half season, and then the beginning of the start of the next season, when we went on that run where we won, was it 14-2 or whatever in January? He was a defensive demon from that first half. I mean, the second half of the season when we traded for him, in the beginning of the next season, he was a defensive, and then he got into his rebounding, like super rebounding bag. Like he started to put up big rebounding numbers. And I think he kind of got away from that because I guess maybe he also felt like, hey, we're good defensively. We got OG Anunoby here. I don't have to do as much and we're winning. But the rebounding is starting to put me on the map. Because the other thing about Josh is, remember, and he said it already multiple times this season, this is his best season as a player in the NBA. He is most recognized now than he ever was before. This is the first time he's ever even been in all-star consideration. So he understands the rebounding and the triple-double stuff. That's more important for him as an individual, career-wise. And it's not like it doesn't help the team. All that stuff helps the team. It's just that going into the playoffs, I think he should try to bring it back a little bit, focus on maybe less rebounding and worry about the defense, because now it's time to start locking people down.
Yeah, but let's not also forget that as people get hurt, other people, life, basketball is constantly evolving. So the fact of the matter is that he started cheating. Maybe he started cheating, like not just for like to get the rebound or pad a stat, like. He was cheating because maybe somebody would, maybe Mitch wasn't well that day. I want to go back and see the tape when he started to cheat.
Oh, no, Jay, but he has to cheat.
Right, no, he has to, because we didn't have anybody else.
Yeah. No, he has
one other person who was getting rebounds at the time, and most of the time, and that was I heard. So
right,
it's hard. I think that if. And they're going to get crushed for this one. If we had what's the best ability?
Availability.
Thank you. If we had a consistent, constant center, then he could go back to doing what he did from the beginning.
I agree.
Because then you would have a guy who gets 10 to 12 rebounds, a guy who can block, and then he doesn't have to cheat anymore.
Right. Well,
was he statistically a better defender in the time you're saying, Ron? I imagine he was.
At that time, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was
a much better defender.
Much better.
The problem that we have now with Josh, and it's not a problem. It's good because he helps this team. It's just that would help even more if we, lock down the defense. Is that also? So the flip side is, even with him being out there, you would think we got enough, but notice how the defense is playing us. So they somehow make it so that Josh gets the ball in his hands, and so it puts pressure on him now. Before, Josh never had.
That just happened in the last game,
right? Before, Josh never really had to score, and he just did what he did, and that's why we had him here. And you would think because we got better offensive players, a better team, that the pressure wouldn't be on him, but it is on him. Because especially when you're trying to play that 5-out defense, 5-out offense, which I think we've kind of moved away from. It's not really rocking the way it wants to.
We haven't even tried it all season, bro.
Yeah,
hard out there.
It's not really rocking.
Let's also not forget that he's gotten I think somewhere like 12, 13, 14 triple doubles. The guy is capable of being an all-around player, but he doesn't. But I also think that if he could cut down on bonehead moves and cut down on a couple, like the turnovers, things like that, he would even be even more than that. But that's why I think we need a solid center. I hope maybe one day it can be Mitch, but that's a different topic. I'm not even going to broach that topic right now. But you get where I'm going with that, right?
No, I hear you, and that's why I'm telling you also that in the playoffs, knock on wood, with a healthy Mitch, Josh shouldn't feel like he has to cheat as much to get those extra rebounds because Mitch,
good point.
He'll be there. I think that we're gonna be okay. I'm waiting for it all to happen. I think a lot of fans will be pretty surprised at a healthy Knicks team going into the playoffs, how much better we play, because I think they've learned a lot about themselves. OG stepped up. I think Macau has learned some stuff. I don't know what happened in that last game, but I think they're going to be better. Better.
What happened is they just funneled the offense to Josh. And I think something that we as Knicks fans, we look at, he had 19. Wow, Josh had such a good game. If Josh has a scoreline like that and McCall has like 6 shots, that's a failure.
That's a problem. It's a problem.
It's not something to be like, wow, it's actually very bad,
And so that's a good question, though, D-Rex. So when you see something like that, who's to blame? Because a lot of people give McCall the blame, but go ahead.
I think it's the coach, bro, because at the half, you have to look at the shot chart and be like, yo, why is Josh Hart taking 3 times as many shots? You have to know the math of this shit, bro. Come on, And even at the half, McCall Bridges had like 3 shots or something,
Mm-hmm.
Mathematically, that's not logical. It doesn't make mathematical sense for Josh Hart to be taking more shots, 3 times as many shots as McCall Bridges. So, to me, it's for sure the players have to be like, okay, seems like Josh Hart's taking every shot. There was like 3 shots where 3 plays back to back where it ended up as like Josh Hart 3-point shot. And I think they kind of got lulled into a false sense of security because Josh made the first one of those. They're like, oh, just keep doing it. No, it's still mathematically a bad idea. He's not suddenly going to become a great 3-point shooter. If every play it ends up with Josh Hart alone at the 3-point line, you're playing into their hands. There was like 3 possessions back to back where that happened against the Cavs, and I'm like, I don't know.
To keep it honest, that's when I came on here, I wanted to mention the word consistency. Period. I think that, except for OG, right now everybody's lacking that. You had a couple good games from Shaman, drops off face of the earth. A couple good games from Bridges, last night's game, or the last time's game. Couple great, unbelievable games from Cat. Then you get 12-7 and 2. I think there's a consistency.
Is that what you put up against the Cavs?
Huh?
That was against the Cavs, 12-7 and 2?
No, actually, it was the one prior to that. But then No, I think he played better than that against Kevin.
He did,
but
but
no,
still,
the Cavs was good. He was good.
Yeah, he had definitely a better game.
But he had 7 turnovers. Oh wait, sorry, he didn't have 7 turnovers. David Smith, my fault.
Yeah, that didn't really happen. I didn't see it either. I will tell you this: if they're not, we can blame the coach on a lot of things. Cannot blame the coach for people jumping to shoot and falling on the ground, for turnovers, for the the doofy plays, the horrible plays. You can't do that. Now, I will say, growing through this year, my view on the coach has went down a lot. However, we started.
Jay, did you like Tibbs at the start of the year?
As a backup center. What do you say, brother?
Did you like Tibbs at the start of this year, Jay?
I did. I thought he was. I thought he was a X's and O guy that I'm only going by the amount of times he brought that first couple of teams that were just horrible and somehow got them to the playoffs. Somehow figured out how to get Nerlens Noel to the playoffs. And to me, they earned my respect right there. And then he started building and building and building. But now it's, I think it's a younger man's sport now. And I hate to say that as a man getting older, but I just think that, watching that. But that was just a side note to the rest of this stuff. But he can't be blamed for the turnovers, 7 turnovers. Can't be blamed for, Bridges. I guess a little bit, but like crappy game. These players are how many players are in NBA?
400.
400,
so.
Okay. How many do you think are out of 10, 5 or better?
Right,
in other words,
good
half, or better.
Mm-hmm.
How many are great?
And
how many are 9 or 10?
Yeah, like 10, probably 10 or less.
Maybe, right? So, out of the 430, with how many billions of people in the world, these guys are on the court playing. They got to take account that means that they did something. They have some sort of skill that is so dynamic that they got blessed to be put on the court. And if they don't play well, they're going to get pointed out because there's millions or billion players watching these 400 people. And they're not all great. And that's just how it works. And they're also all human. And they're not going to have fantastic days all the time. Even the 9s and 10s. So, I just think that the conversation regarding Brunson and Cat is ridiculous because they're 2 different people. Cat was an amazing signing. Amazing signing.
I just don't know why we're having the conversation at all. Like, why? And so let me. We're gonna move on because I don't want to continue to stay on this. But the other thing too is, I want people to understand. And this is the big reason. Like a lot of times where I'm even talking about, Cat and Brunson, it's because someone else is pitting them against each other. I'm just trying to bring it back to make it so that it's a fair representation that both of us understand each other and that we understand the team, right? I don't understand. That's like me being on a team. I don't know, whatever, a college team. Let's say, what's my favorite college team? Duke. Hey,
Really?
Final Four. You see how we doing it, baby?
We got a dog. Oh my God, my heart hurts. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I go back to the Bobby Hurley, Grant Hill, Thomas Hill days. People who watch the show will know that Thomas Hill, if you remember, is my favorite Duke player of all time. And be like, Thomas Hill, that's right. It ain't Grant, it ain't Bobby Hurley, it ain't Christian Laettner. It's Thomas Hill, the one that's forgotten about. He's a coach somewhere right now, but he was a lefty assassin. Okay, anyway.
Sorry.
So my point is, it's like me playing on Duke, right? And I hit the last second shot to win the game and push us to the championship round or whatever. And then someone else comes along and says, man, he played pretty well. And that final shot was dope. But if it wasn't for this guy, they wouldn't have. What? I just hit the final. Don't take away from me. That's how it feels. That's what it feels like. Yeah. Why can't we all just eat together? Why can't we all just be a team together? We're winning together. Why diminish what I've done to big up what someone else has done? That is my point. That's the point. It's not about whether the players are good. They're all good. They're NBA players making hella money that we're here watching them for our own entertainment. They're all good. And some of them are better than others. And I think I said it before. I think Cat and Brunson's 1 and Cat is 1A. I never diminished them and took anything away from them. I think they're like they're to me, as far as players go, if you really want to look at it, as far as talent.
I feel like I know where you're going.
Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns in some ways are the exact same player.
I knew you were going to say that. There's a little man playing in a big man's body and a big man playing in a little man's body.
Come on, Jay. You know what I'm saying? They are almost the exact same player when it comes to that. Defensively, they both don't play great defense. But the offensively, they can both do everything on the court. Outside, intermediate, mid-range, layups. Brunson could rebound. Right. Brunson could rebound better if he was taller, but he can't. It is what it is.
Right.
Cat can assist more if he wanted to, but he doesn't. He's a big man. It's harder for him to move around the ball. To be able to be a really good person at assisting, you have to have a good handle and be able to move around on the floor to get to different spots and find guys. Right. It's not just, I could pass the ball. I'm going to have 10 assists to get. No, Jokic is one of the best at it because he can move everywhere on the floor. It doesn't matter how it looks. He can do it. And it what makes him incredible, right? So my point is, when you look at that, when you look at what I'm saying, these guys are almost like the same player. They're just in different bodies. Right. But the difference is, Jay said it, I said it already. It's the intangibles. That's all that's the difference between these two guys. So anyway, whatever. I'm done with that. I'm moving on.
I believe Rex asked if you.
Oh, for the link?
Yeah.
My bad. All right, hold on. All right, there it is back in the chat. Shout out to JM3 in the building. Appreciate you. Juan B is here. Salute. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody tuned in. Shout out to Al Tango in the building. Salute. Shout out to everybody tuned in, whether it be on X or on YouTube or on Facebook. Appreciate everybody. Smash that like button. Share out to your peoples if you haven't already. Appreciate all of y'all. Thank you. Okay, let me get this back up here. Boom. All right.
Whoa.
Hey. All right.
I saw it, but I didn't want to. That was a great little comment. That part was, we needed to say that. So that was
yeah, cool. Because realistically, it's very true. If you just look at the type of players they are, okay, let me see here. What's there? All right. And let me get a shout out once again. Please, if you guys haven't already, join the Discord. The Discord is up and popping. Like I said, each day it's continuing to grow and grow. And as we go along, there's going to be more and more stuff. We're also going to get into Met stuff on the Discord. The NBA season is kind of wrapping up. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. We're going to get into Met stuff on the Discord. We're going to get into Giant stuff on the Discord. So stay tuned for all that. And shout out to the one and only L, damn it, in the building. Pew, 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 pew. Appreciate you, L, as always.
That Discord is tough to follow, man.
Yeah. We'll get you right, man. We'll get you right.
Yeah, I need some help, man. I'm on
the list. Bro, you're acting like a Thibodeau over here.
Yeah, I don't know what I want to do right now with I want to be on the Discord.
It's cool, man. Shout out to Al Tango 45 in the building. He says we can't hide two bad defenders on the floor at the same time, especially at the 5, where rim protection is a major part of Tibbs' outdated drop back schemes and sets. That is a huge point, Al Tango. That's a huge point. And I think that's part of the reason why you're going to see when we get into the playoffs, Tibbs might get a little bit more tricky with his rotations. He might do some things that you'd be like, why would he hasn't done this all season? He might, you might see the long rate. You might see some stuff. Yeah. You definitely might.
This last month he has been mixing and pushing people around, but I think it started out of necessity.
Right. That's the thing. Like, he's had to do it. It's when you really take it and you acknowledge him is when he does it, when he doesn't have to do it. And I think in the playoffs, we may see him have an opportunity to do some stuff to make us say, okay, now that's actually a move that makes, all right, he's doing something different and he doesn't have to do it. Guys are healthy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Uh-oh. Oh boy.
Hell, you gotta give me look, I used to have it for another show that I used to do with somebody. I just don't know how to work. You gotta show me, L.
It will get you right, Jay. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm ready. Look, I want to be in there. So
I hear you, man. Listen, man, I want everybody to be able to join. And like I said, eventually, because I'm still learning how to do it myself and learning how to do the behind the scenes stuff to bring things in there to make it more, inviting for people to make, okay. Exactly. I'm learning. So shout out to all you guys. Okay. Now let me get to what I wanted to get to before we get into because this has kind of been a little bit negative with regards to stuff. I want to get to something positive. And to me, the positive that I want to get to is none other than OG Anunoby, because I love the fact that he has had his redemption story for this time. Who would have thought that out of everybody on this team, Cat included, the guy who has stepped up the biggest without Brunson has been OG Anunoby. He's been fantastic, guy. Even when I think, I'm like, man, I hope he doesn't go too crazy. I hope he don't go nut out there because we want him to be aggressive, but don't go too. He don't stop. He don't care. He'll go right through you. And because he's realized that the defense is knowing that he's coming right in, he's added little wrinkles to his game. The highlight that we saw in the game the other day, where he started from the sideline, almost the sideline, but the perimeter, and he went into the lane, did the hop step with the ball over, then flipped it in with the lefty leg. I was like, oh my God. Anunoby.
I didn't even know he had that in his bag.
He's trying to beat the no handle allegations.
I was like, this is incredible. OG, who knew?
OG. I'm gonna tell you something. Man, that is amazing.
That was beautiful, bro. That was fantastic. And it shows you that it's one thing to say a guy wants the opportunity to be looked at as more of an offensive option. It's another thing to see that the guy's putting in the work. Because you can keep going and he can still do the bull in the china shop thing and just be driving right into somebody. But he's actually trying to do something different because he knows the defense is they're making adjustments too. That is a hell of a shows me something, which makes me think I'm gonna have to change my narrative about players going forward. If you are really good on defense, can you be really good on offense? Because you have to have it's not as easy, right? But you have to have some type of real smarts and IQ. And OG definitely has that, right? But I think the other thing about OG is it doesn't look as natural to him, right? And his handles, obviously we know they've talked about his handles. It doesn't look as great, but it's also because I think he's not that low to the ground. You know what I mean? He's more of like when he tries to get to dribble, he's got to hunch over and kind of go low to make it happen. Some people naturally can dribble, and it comes easier to them. He has to work a little harder to maintain that dribble and get the spots. But I'll tell you, if OG, I wouldn't be surprised if OG continues to work, and then 2 years from now, his dribble is much better. and he's able to get to certain things, because he just seems like the more and more he's working, he can improve. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Just want to get your thoughts on how do you feel about OG and his current improvement. I'll start with you, D-Rex, and then I'll go to Jay.
I think it's fantastic, man. I mean, I think there's a question to be asked as to whether it's a coincidence or because of the fact that this is happening exactly at the time when Jalen Brunson's not playing. People were saying maybe he had this in him all along, where Jalen Brunson's too ball dominant, needs to pass more, this, that. He is statistically a very ball dominant player, I do think, I'm not discrediting him, by the way, saying this, but I do think part of it is Kolek playing with him has gotten him a lot of easy looks and helped him get going easier. But for sure, like, getting to the basket and getting his own shot, he just never looked like this before. He just never looked like this aggressive and pushing people off of him to get his shot and just forcing himself to the basket is amazing, bro. And it's a new level from him, 100% a new level from him. And it's just credit to him. Credit to him for doing it when we needed it and for getting to that next. It seems like he got to a new level as a player. That's what it looks like in the last 6-7 games. So all credit in the world.
No, I agree. And before I get over to Jay, I just wanted to say another thing that I think he's learned outside of just being aggressive. If we look at some of because he is a power forward, that's his body type. If we look at some of the power forwards, let's just take the Knicks, for example. If we look at some of the power forwards that have flourished in this league for us, not only are they aggressive, not only are they highly skilled, they're strong. Carmelo Anthony was strong. He's a reason why everybody said he was one of the toughest players to guard, because he put the body on you. You don't know if he's just gonna, shoot right over you. Is he gonna fall away, or is he gonna spin off of you, go and like, shoot like a little floater to the basket? He had a bunch of moves in his bag, but he also had strength, right? So did Julius Randle. Julius Randle's strong. He's aggressive, but he also he's strong. And one thing I notice about OG is he's starting to use his strength more and more. Like, he's physical. I was kind of surprised because I thought he was more of a finesse type dude. He's getting a little physical out there. And even on defense, I see OG, and I think it's because he's such a good defender that he gets away with it. But OG be physical. He be putting his power into dudes. I'm like, oh, okay. And they let him get away with it. So
Charles Oakley.
Hey.
How about that one?
So Jay, what's your thoughts on OG and everything that's been going on, brother?
I think OG always had this bag. I think that OG is evolving, and if he could get a dribble down, be incredibly dangerous. He's one of the best two-way players I've seen on our team in quite some time. And he is literally right now next to Cat. That's our go-to guy. That's our go-to guy. He does everything out there. I think that for me, I would like him, being such a defensive monster, to be a little bit more I guess verbal. Like, to lead, if you're gonna lead in some department, sometimes you gotta be like, yo, get over here. You go, you do that, because he sees the court different. And sometimes we have to also give props to OG. OG all year, without this, I'm continuing to say this, without the center, without that, has been playing two people each time they come down. He's got to switch off to the center position, switch back to his man, switch off to this guy. And another thing is, and I really, really believe this, except for a handful of centers, OG could guard 1 through 5. He can literally guard your best player to your biggest player. He is big, strong, and defensive minded, who could drop 28 at a given moment, 30 at any given moment. So, Stacks, my brother, what's happening? Yeah, so definitely OG is very impressive. You don't hear I'll give you nothing. You don't hear any chirping about the money he's gotten. There was some, in the beginning, because everybody was, everybody didn't notice that, he had to play 2 people the entire time. He had to do all this stuff the entire year. He's moving and grooving because, and be all fairness, because once you get by Brunson, and then Cat is going to play some Ole, he's got to go for both of those guys' players too. And Bridges, no matter what we say, has not been that defensive guy that we've been looking for, except for a handful of games.
Not at all.
The one game I can remember, Bridges,
not against the league
OG, was that one where he went for the block. No, that was OG. Sorry, that wasn't Bridges. It was OG. The block on one side comes across the court and blocks again on the other side. So, he's doing a hell of a bang-up job, man. And right now he seems to be worth every penny. And I don't think many people, if they disagree with that, they just, I don't know, man. It's tough.
I hear you. Shout out to my guy DJ XL. He says, DJ XL showing love. You got my sub. What's going on, my brother? Appreciate you. As one of my old gaming homies. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for finding me over here on YouTube. Good to see you. Shout out to Stacks, different timing in the building, member of the SKF Army. Salute. He said, yo, what's up, everybody? What did I miss? Oh, man, good conversation as usual, man. I got great guys up here chopping it up with me. And, we getting into everything as we usually do. Shout out to MG in the building. What up? He says, yo, appreciate you, bro. Shout out to D-Ras in the building. What up, D-Ras? Good to see you. Let me see. JJ47K in the building. What up, JJ? Yep. Okay.
Yep, there's 40 teams right now. Whatever.
Okay. I think I saw. Oh, shout out to Shoquan in the building. What up, Shoquan? Appreciate you, man. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. And I think I said what's up to Space Ghost. If I didn't, appreciate you, Space Ghost. It's all love, my guy. Hit him up, NYNJ in the building. Knicks should have 50 wins by Monday. I hope so, bro. It'd be nice. We'll see. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. We talked about OG and his ability to step up for this New York Knicks team and all the offensive prowess. But then there's the flip side, right? They've been talking to OG a little bit more because he's obviously making the news because of his great play. He's been in player of the month considerations now. He's in player of the week considerations because of his strong showings. And so they've been talking to him. And when they talked to him recently, he mentioned that he wants to be the defensive player of the year. He's mentioned it multiple times. He said, I should have been defensive player of the year in the past, but he's been overlooked. And unfortunately, I think he's going to get overlooked again because I hope he makes defensive player of the year first team, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. I think he can make 2. He can make defensive player on the second team, right? But here's the problem with OG. I think OG is in the Mitchell Robinson stage of things that Mitchell Robinson, not that he's at now. There was years and years ago, right, that Mitchell Robinson was a demon defensively. But if you looked at the numbers and looked at the stats, you might have seen him have around 2 blocks, right? But you didn't see a bunch of other things that he was doing because he was so beastie at one point that the players were not testing him. He couldn't get block opportunities because they weren't shooting on him. They were trying to switch and move to whoever else was on the team shoot on Randall or whoever. They weren't testing Mitchell Robinson. And I feel like that is also what's happening right now with OG Anunoby, because if you look at the defensive rankings, we watch this team every game. We know what OG does out there. We see how some games he's a monster defensively. But if you look at the numbers, he doesn't rank high at all in some of these statistical defensive categories because he's not getting tested. The guy that OG is guarding, OG might lock him down, and the next time down the court, he's on Macau. Like Macau's on the guy. And then he's scoring on Macau or whatever's happening on Macau, or Macau's playing good defense. But the bottom line is OG's not getting these opportunities because a lot of guys aren't trying to shoot all the time on OG. And so it looks like the defensive player rankings, especially if you go according to the NBA.com, for example, they're basing it on defensive win shares, right? But in order to get those defensive win shares, you got to get tested. If you're not getting tested, it's not going to show up. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Hold on. I'll go with this one. Sorry, I know that looks a little weird, guys.
Bear with. Atlanta at 3 today, right?
Yep, 3:00.
Indeed.
All right, so here we go. Let me drop this down. Where is this? Okay. Let me see if I can make that a little bigger for peeps. All right, guys. So you look at who's number one. My goodness, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a phenomenal player. Not for nothing. He's fantastic. Shout out to him. If it wasn't for the fact that Nikola Jokic is doing stuff that we've never seen before, and he'll probably win another MVP. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I think Shai Gilgeous should have ran away with this. But it just Jokic is unbelievable. And I'm not even mad. Like there was a couple years ago where Embiid should have won and Jokic got it. No. Jokic deserves this hands down this year. But if it wasn't for him, Shai Gilgeous would be getting his first because he's phenomenal. Okay, but let's move on.
And he still may. We don't know yet. But I agree with you.
I hear you. I just don't think there's any way they're not giving it to the Joker.
Not after 61-10-10.
It's crazy. So look at this, guys. These are defensive win shares. This is how they're grading who the best defensive player is. Shai, right? Franz Wagner, DeAnthony Melton. Now, some of this is fugazi. We get it because it's about time played. So the DeAnthony Melton only qualifies, but he hasn't. Don't look at this. I ignore stuff like that. I just move on. So Shai, Franz Wagner, Jalen Williams. I'm not even looking at Jalen Suggs. 35 games doesn't qualify. Chet Holmgren doesn't qualify. Zubac is having a pretty good year defensively.
Damn good year.
Rudy Gobert. Who's this guy? Isaiah Hartenstein. Ooh. Mm-hmm. See, you see, guys. This is why Hartenstein was so important for this Knicks team. We're moving on. Jabari Smith Jr., Norman Powell. I mean, like, why do we have to look at this and clean these lists up on ourselves? This shouldn't even. Daquan Plowden shouldn't even be here. Like, what are we doing? All right, Fred VanVleet, James Harden. No, I have to take another look at that. So once again, guys, James Harden is 14th on this list for defensive win shares, and we don't even see OG Anunoby.
They've been like the second best defense in the NBA the last few games.
No, I get it, but James Harden has spoof videos for how terrible he is defensively. Like,
yeah, he's
crazy.
Been kicked on. Yeah, definitely not.
Alperen Sengun. All right, Amen Thompson. Amen is phenomenal. Yo, Houston has been great. Not for nothing.
Sengun is one of the best young players I've seen in a long time.
100%. Jason Tatum, who I would expect to be here. Luguentz Dort, yep. Brandon Podziemski, I guess that's how it is. I don't know. I butchered that. But he's been very solid defensively. Drew Holiday, we know Drew the Damager. Jalen Johnson, that's limited because he's out for the season, so he's not here. Kawhi Leonard, wow. Damn, Kawhi's only played 33 games. Goodness gracious, bro. Kawhi. Derek White. Look at that. Derek White, Jason Tatum, freaking Drew Holiday, and we haven't even mentioned Jaylen Brown. That's why Boston's so damn good. Okay, let's move on. Cason Wallace. Ooh, Shout out to Case and Wallace, somebody we were talking about last week. Dylan Brooks, Paolo Banchero, Evan Mobley, Siakam, Donovan Mitchell made it to 31 here with his win shares. Luka Doncic. See, this stuff is interesting because it's how they look at what defense means. But notice, I'm not going to keep reading the names. You don't see any Knicks.
Yeah.
So how can OG Anunoby win anything when he's not even listed in the top win shares, how they categorize this stuff? Like, if you don't show up in their metrics, how are you going to do it? And it's not his fault. So I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to share that with guys because I'm like, how? And I looked at another stat too. I looked at StatMuse, and guess what? Same, different. They were going by win shares. It was the same people at the top. I'm like, so what are we supposed to do here? How is OG supposed to be relevant according to these metrics? I don't know.
It's tough. I think it's a lot to do with the fact that which is crazy because, I mean, I guess, they're going by stats and like you said, you got to take a lot of those names off. They don't really, I don't know who made that list, but a lot of the people definitely deserve to be on there. OG having to play multiple people may have hurt his. To us, that's fantastic. It's great that he could do that. But if he only has to play one-on-one, he'll leave Evan Mobley at 13 points. You see what he did to me the other day? 13 points. That was him playing him. That's all he got. Still helping out. So, yeah, I agree with you, and you're right. Look, great. I'm really happy that we have OG. It's okay to me. He's not on that list, but he definitely deserves to be looked at. What I think you were describing as the all defense teams, right? First, second, and the third. And I think he deserves to be on the all first one. He'll probably end up on the all second one. But he deserves to be on one of them. That is for damn sure. And he's probably the only Knick right now that we could say that about. Even though we're still have two.
That's very true. It's very true. Let me shout out to, hold on. You know what it is. Shout out to Parrish Duggett. Thanks for the generous super chat, my guy. He said OG discovered how to Euro through the body of defenders when driving the ball. That has put him on a different level. I believe he took it from Denny Advia. Maybe, I mean, Denny's very, very good at it, man. And I told you guys already, if there was a way that we can get, I wanted Denny Advia like 4 months ago.
Me too.
4 months ago. If there's a way that the Knicks can somehow wind up with that young man next year and he can come off the bench, I'll be all smiles because he's the type of player we can definitely use. He can go get it. And, you don't have to have a whole bunch of stuff. Like, the Knicks are looking for ways to improve on the bench. But if you could just get one guy that can do it automatically, like he's a guy who can get you 30 points. He can light it up.
Like, with 16 rebounds or 15,
yeah,
12.
He's got great height. He's got great height. And I'm not saying he's a lockdown defender. He's just got a good defensive acumen. He'll get in your face. And he's got a little fire in his belly. I like that kid, man. I like that kid.
Me too. You know what's crazy too, Ron? When all these teams are at their lowest, I didn't read into the cap and all that other stuff. I kept saying to myself, why aren't we going to get some of these players from these teams that are falling apart? Some really great players. Like Denny at the time, I believe, was, I don't know what his salary is, but
Good question.
And I think that might be it. But
I think that's the issue. He probably makes some decent money,
especially with especially the fact that we had like $500,000 to work with and all this other crap. But I think there's a lot of issues like that. There was a lot of teams, and now there's no way we're going to get it. I'm going to tell you why. Portland did something in the middle of the year or towards like the last third of the year, and they just became a real problem for the rest of the league. I can't see them. I just can't see it.
No, I agree with you. I don't think we can get Denny now either, because he's a solid player that everybody would want on their team. Look, and also because of his body type. I mean, he's got great height. If he was another one of those guards that they have over there, because they got way too many guards, I would expect them to move on from some of those guys. They, Scoot Henderson has stepped up. He looks like he's a keeper, so he's somebody you could build with, right? Shannon Sharp has great ability and fantastic agility. He's not going anywhere. But they might move on from Simons because he hasn't shown enough. But like, there's no reason to get rid of something that doesn't hurt your team. If anything, it helps. So yeah, I don't see Denny going anywhere either. I was just saying, like,
that stinks.
Hey. Flip side, we would have to set this up in a super package. But
with Bridges being
you see where I'm going. If Bridges don't get it done in these playoffs, I would not be opposed to sending them straight over to Portland for Denny Advia and give me one of them guards. I'll take Scoot. Give me one of them guards. You know what I mean?
Right now, before it's over, can we just trade him now for him? No, I know.
Nah. I want to give Macau his time to shine, because I honestly have a feeling that we're going to go into the playoffs and Macau's going to step up.
You're right. We all hope you're right.
I hope I'm right too. Believe me. But we'll see. Appreciate the super chat. Paris, thank you once again. Shout out to Stacks. Different time. He said, "Why does it take for Brunson to go down to see this out of OG?" I mean, look, it's the same thing. Everybody, I'm gonna give it the whole spiel, right? Part of it is Brunson's fault, part of it is the coach's fault, and part of it is players' fault. So it's 33%, however you look at it. Brunson can get caught up in his own calling my number bag because he sees other guys may not be stepping up. He's got to do what he's got to do in his moment. Sometimes once you go, you can't shut a shooter off. Once the shooter's going, right? So part of it's on Brunson, right? Part of it's on the coach because he's running everything through Brunson instead of looking for other teammates and moving the ball around, because he knows Brunson is reliable. And he knows that if we don't get solid points, if we go back and forth and we're not trading baskets, we're going to get down. So he likes the fact of having Brunson out there to be able to stabilize things. But sometimes he can get, Tibbs can get too caught up in that. That's a negative, right? Then the third thing, which I talked about a month ago or a couple weeks ago, the players go out there and they see Brunson getting busy and they just let him keep getting busy. You get caught in the tunnel vision. Oh, look, Brunson's going to work on it. They're not stopping him. You can't do that either. As good as Brunson may be or have his moments, you have to get back into your style of basketball, because if that's what keeps you winning games consistently, playing your style. You go too much. Now, I'm not saying that the way Brunson is not, it could be looked at as the Knicks style. That's a negative. You want to get back to moving the ball and believing in each other. But the teammates have to believe in themselves too. They see, oh man, I took that last shot I missed. Man, let me get another one. I come down, I missed this one too. Oh wait, Brunson got to take over. Brunson hit that one. Boom. Brunson hit a big three. Boom. And now you're watching Brunson instead of going back in there asking for the ball so you can go get it. It's part of the team's fault too. It's the team, Brunson, and it's the coach. So
I agree with you.
A lot there.
All of it.
And he definitely can't come back and the entire
offense is just him.
And the entire offense.
Yeah, no, there's no way. No, let me tell you something. He comes back and this Brunson ball, we're losing. We can't go back to that right
now.
now.
Other people are going to be mad, and the fans are going to be mad because they want to see the OG going forward.
And I don't think he's that type of player. To be honest, I think Brunson is only doing what he thinks he needs to do because no one else is stepping up.
No, I agree.
He needed to do it last year, and I think that rolled over. He had to do that last year,
right? Especially when we were down with no players. Yeah, he had to do it.
With 6 people in the playoffs, we had to use Brunson that way. The guy, and he's a phenomenal finisher, but he doesn't always have to be the finisher. He doesn't always have to do that. And I think that we did see him step up. Look at his assist numbers. They went up. However, I do not, and that's a testament to him. At the same token, with his rough defensive playing or non-playing, and, the fact of the matter is, the way we're playing now, Brunson has to now ingratiate himself into that. He can't come back and it can't be, Brunson and the team. It has to be the team. So it's if he could feed Cat more down at the bottom, that'd be great. But Cat's got to be at the bottom. And again, people, I don't think understand how deep this is. To have a defensive center now allows Cat to play his natural position and make our bench better by taking somebody like Hart. They'll never put Bridges on the bench, so it will be Hart. And everybody gets to play a little bit different. I would love to see Brunson, Mitch, and Cat, OG, Bridges on the floor same time, and watch Cat go to work differently. I know that he could go to work differently. He spaces the floor completely different with the center. You saw it in Minnesota. He spaces it completely different. And then you will see Brunson doing his thing. I just don't like it when he plays what I call Carmelo Brunson ball. Just let him be a facilitator. And that's why I always said he's a 2 guard. He's not a 1 guard. He's a guy that should be running around next to an actual point guard who is a deferrer. And maybe one day we'll see that with Kolek. I have no idea, but right now,
I think he's been watching the Kolek stretch and saying, maybe I could be doing some of this stuff and getting these guys set up like that. Clearly it can work sometimes,
I think they're building him to be his backup, when I think instead he should be. I think that Brunson's a 2 guard. I've always felt that way. He goes, gets it. He's a shooter. He drives. I mean, he gets for a guy his size, man. He plays like a big man. We just said that a little while ago. So but it's a bit of all everybody's fault, I also right now, we talked about joking, and I'm definitely not putting them in the same light. But right now, our guy is Cat. How come we're not feeding Cat down there? Though, look, I don't want to say it, but I think that with Mitch back, we're 9-5, and we stayed afloat with Brunson out. Though it's starting to look a little scary, it's tough. He just has to come back and ingratiate himself in there. And I would love to see them feed Cat down low. So,
I'm with you on that. I agree with that. I think that I think that this team just has to continue to buy into what they're doing. Don't change anything. If Brunson comes back, just incorporate him into the mix of what they're doing, and tell them, we got something cooking here. We know you are our guy, and we're gonna go, with you wherever you want to take us. But we've been doing some good things, so keep us in mind and keep calling for the ball, being aggressive, asking for it. And Brunson's gonna pass the ball. He's not gonna pass the ball, But if the Knicks go back out there and they start missing shots, he is going to try to take over. That's just that's his.
That's the normal time. Yeah,
that's what you do. Yeah. David Smith said something very interesting. He says we have a coach who can't adapt, adjust, and figure out how to use the roster effectively. Cat ends up getting blamed for everything to cover up for Tibbs and Brunson. I love it. You see, and this is the reason why I hope everybody out there who's been watching the show today notice that every conversation when it comes from what is going on with Cat, it's not just about Tibbs. He continuously throws Brunson in there. So this is the why I have to always go back and forth, because it's always Brunson is a player and not a coach. And this, to me, is the most interesting statement David Smith has ever said, because watch this. I do give honest critique of Cat. He is a below average defender who commits silly fouls at times, but Cat is all-star, all NBA, and has his positives far outweigh his limitations. Let me ask you something, David Smith. Could you say the same statement, take Cat's name out and put Jalen Brunson's name in? Because I think you could, except for the fouls. Is this not Jalen Brunson? Is he not an all-star, all-NBA player who has defensive limitations, but his positives far outweigh his limitations? What am I missing here? You said it yourself. Just want to put that out there. I mean,
I don't remember us beating up on Cat. Like, I don't like Cat. I think we are watching right now possibly the best signing and one of the best trade pieces we've ever gotten play together on the same team. Not right in second, but the whole year. So, yeah, I mean, they are identical. I mean, I think that you nailed it when you said that thing earlier. They're identical, and then being that the big man, little man thing, I think that's a fact. That's why OG is so important. That's why all these other people are so important, because they all, that right there is Brunson and Cat to the T.
I agree. And he says, no, Ron, Brunson's hurting our offense when he plays hero ball. I agree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong. See, this is why I love when we have these conversations, and I love for everyone out there to understand this is how I want to continue to run my show. I want to be able to have the conversations where we can have differences of opinion, but I also want you to understand that I can agree with you, but I think your way of looking at it, the outlook is wrong. Because I agree. Brunson's hero ball doesn't help anybody. But well, yeah, last year's playoffs. Well, we had in that case, we had no choice. Like no one else could step up. We didn't have anybody to step up outside of Brunson and Devo. It was a rough time.
That's a big loss too, by the way. We don't talk about.
I know.
Yeah.
But my whole point is, I agree. Hero ball is not good. It's called hero ball for a reason, because it's usually a negative connotation, right? But if I go out there, and this is what I keep telling people, because people want to throw this whole, Brunson's only averaging 7 assists, Trey's averaging this many assists, or this guy's averaging this many assists. When the Knicks have 30 plus assists, we win this amount of time. How many times have we watched Jalen Brunson go out there, get 5 or 6 assists, and the team still finished with 30 plus assists, and we win the game? We moved the ball. He did his job, but the ball is not always in Brunson's hands. If we get 30 plus assists and Brunson only has 5 or 6, that means people are passing the ball.
That's right.
What's negative? There ain't no negative about it. So we got to look at it the same way. Just because it's not Brunson who is getting the boatload of the assists doesn't mean the ball's not moving. The only reason we should ever be upset with Jalen Brunson is if he's stopping the ball movement. If he is doing too much ISO ball, so the ball is not moving, so guys can't get any consistency, so they can't have a shot. They don't have rhythm. But let me now this is where I get to Paris Duggar's super chat. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat. He says, I'm calling BS Brunson was feeding OG and Bridges, and they were missing every shot against Detroit, Boston, and Cleveland, and Orlando, and ATL home losses. Go watch again. So he's not wrong, guys. And remember, when he's saying this, don't think about the most recent Cleveland game. Think about the other games that took place before. Think about the fact that Bridges went through a hell of a slump for a whole season, and it just so happens, whole season, a whole month, and we happened to play them, some of these teams during that time. Think about the fact that OG's jump shot was broken for a while, and we happened to have to play these guys for a while. But goes back to the bottom line. Brunson passed the ball to these guys. These guys couldn't knock it down. So each possession goes down. We're getting nothing from the possession. The score is going up exponentially on the other side. What do you think Jalen Brunson's going to do? He's going to try to jack
do it just to do it, but he also shouldn't be like, oh, I dribble 20 minutes, and then at the end, desperation, a grenade, and then maybe that counts as an assist.
Right, you know? So that part of it is Tibbs, because that's the style of offense they're playing out there, because he wants to do that. I don't necessarily agree with it, and I think that the Knicks defense has changed, but offense has changed too. We have changed our offensive style since Brunson's been out. Go ahead, Jay.
Two things, yeah. One is we play Cleveland, I think, every time this year on a back-to-back. I just want you to know that. Okay, all right, that's number one. Number two is Nick Yak just said it best. We have the best hero ball player in the league. Down the stretch, he has been money. Maybe down the stretch, we might need that for, and I'm feeling that 1,000%. But not for the entire season. Only in the necessities. But he is definitely money, and he is definitely the guy you want with the ball in the hand in the clutch time. But we do have other players who can do things. And let's hope they do it.
No, I agree with you. And look, see, if you want me to look deeper into something, here's a negative out of a positive. Jalen Brunson is right now considered the most clutch NBA player in the league. The clutch statistics, he is number one. Now, that's incredible, right? That means every time he's been put in the clutch opportunities down the stretch in the fourth quarter of games, he has come through more often than not, more often than other players.
Yep.
Here's the flip side of it. Maybe it's a negative because we keep putting ourselves in situations where he has to be so clutch instead of us playing good team-oriented basketball so we can come out to good leads. So by the time the fourth quarter happens, we're not worrying about last-second shots and stuff because we're handling these teams. So
can I say another reason why I think it might be bad is we already know that he's been good at this. It's not like he suddenly became good at it, right? So we always put him in this situation, and it becomes this kind of self-fulfilling prophecy where, one, sometimes this season I would have preferred Mikal gets to put up that shot, even if it doesn't go in. Let's say we lose the game. OG gets to put up that shot, and again, even if it doesn't go in. Because at least you're putting the other players in that situation where they're in that clutch time, and they can improve in it.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Brunson, yes, he's going to be good at it. And he should, let's say 70-80% of the time, have the ball. But if your whole strategy in the fourth quarter, in the clutch, with people debating me on this, but there's data to back it up, the whole offense of Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter for some games. One, it means it's strategically a weakness, because they have the whole quadruple team Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter. It's ridiculous. He could only be so good. You have the double team is already a lot. Even for him, he could pass out of it. Okay, it's still hard, still more difficult. So strategically, it's a weakness. And then also the other players aren't getting the experience of being the clutch guy in clutch time, So even though Jalen Brunson should, let's say, 70-80% of the time probably be getting that shot, to me, it feels like it's 100%, and that's a weakness. So.
That's fair. I can agree with that. And I think that that's why I was so happy to watch what happened in that Memphis game, to see Brunson, pass the ball out of that double team to the corner to OG to knock down the three for us to win that way. That was the first time we've actually kind of seen. I mean, I think that's the first time we've really seen that with this year's team. We did see it with Devo. Devo hit a couple big shots for us where, you know, he got the look from Brunson or whoever passed it to him. But yeah, no, I agree. They definitely need that because it's going to force teams to just lock down on Brunson. And then what happens is the reverse. Brunson has to pass it to Josh Hart. And we saw how that wound up. That didn't work out too great for us.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you're talking about the starters, right? Because if anybody else is out there, man, see, this is why you can't just. It's not one. It can never only be one thing. It can never only be he's doing this one thing. He's holding the ball too long. Well, what if he's holding the ball too long, but there's a couple bench players? Our bench stinks. What if it's the fact that, that day, yeah, I agree. We should keep shooting and shooting. But if you're over 7 man, stop shooting. Go to the damn basket. Get there. Hopefully they won't hate James Dolan enough and give us a foul call.
Facts.
And that's that. I think there's a mixture of things. It can never be one. There's so many things going on during the game. So.
Right. And so just want to give everybody a heads up. What are we at? 2:04. I'm going to go for about another 10 minutes or so. 2:05.
I was about to say I'm about to leave in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I am going to go for about another 10 minutes or so because I want everybody to be able to head over to Knicks Real Talk with my guys Divine and Shaw because they are doing their pregame for the Knicks game that starts at 3. So we could all get a good glimpse of what they got going on, get us hyped, get us ready for the game because that's what the community is about, working with each other, believing in each other, and supporting each other.
Indeed.
So,
and I gotta get over there too. So
yeah, of course.
I got 5 minutes left for me.
It's okay. We're gonna get you up out of here. Okay. Shout out to Corey Lee.
Corey Lee, the new grandfather. I'm sorry, Ron.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ron.
No, that's right. Yes. Congratulations to Corey Lee. He is a new grandfather, many times over now. But, he sent me the picture of this lovely little baby. Let me tell you something. Very cute, very cute. Thank you, Corey, for blessing me with the pic. Peace and salute. Queens is in the building. Queens, get the money. Salute to you, Corey. Good to see you, my brother. Shout out to Lion of Judah, Grand Rising, my brother Ron in the panel, and blessings to all the Knicks fans. Shalom. Shout out to Luna Jean in the building. Let's go. Let's get this W today. Let's go. I appreciate it. Shout out to Danny Landis. He says, salute, Big Ron. Would you make an offer of Towns and other players' draft picks for Giannis? Listen,
no.
I know people don't want to hear this. I know people don't want to hear this. I'm going to tell you this right now. I know this is the one. You talk about your opinion not being popular. I think Towns is a better player long term for the
one word, bro. Spacing.
That's my whole thing. It's not happening, right? Because here's my thought process. I always say this. I'm trying to wrap it up quick. I always say in my mind, there's going to be a day that comes, and it's not here yet. I can clearly see it's not here. I watched Giannis play. He still looks incredible. A day is going to come where Giannis is a little slower. When that step is just not as quick to blow by some of these players, he's just a little slower. He still has the leaping ability. The leaping may be a little bit less because that happens over time and age, right? No jump shot. I don't have to play you on the perimeter. I'm going to leave you out there. You're not as quick as you were before. You're not getting past me anymore. I'm able to cut you off. Where's your game going? What game do you have now? It's the same thing I used to say about, now granted, Giannis is a phenomenal player. It's not happening as quickly, with Giannis. I'm not saying it would happen this quickly. He's still very young for the most part, but it will happen at one point because he is limited. He doesn't have a great jump shot. It's very, pedestrian. It's the same thing I thought would happen with the guy from New Orleans.
Oh, Ingram?
No, the big dude.
Zion?
Why am I forgetting his name?
Valanciunas? No, who are you
No,
talking
no,
about?
the power forward that went to Duke. RJ's friend.
We were supposed to get him in that draft. Zion.
Zion Williamson. Thank you.
You
Zion
forgot him because he's at a buffet right now, chilling.
Oh, once again, it's very sad. I saw the other day that they shut him down for the rest of the season. He's only played like 30 something. Like, what is going on? Like, I'm done with that dude. Stop telling me that he should be a Knick, guys. Please. I don't ever want to hear you say that Zion Williamson should be a Knick. The guy can't play 50 games. No season. I'm done with him.
Can I say one thing really quick, Ron? And two things. One, I'm sorry I saw your thunder on David's grandchild. That was yours to say. I apologize.
Oh, you good? You good?
Yeah, I know, but I just, I got hyped. I see Corey a lot on the things that I knew. Second thing is, I want to tell you this. We would have had Zion, and we would not have let him go. He would have been hurt, a liability. No one would have got one trade. We got RJ, and today we're talking about a guy who's carrying us right now, named OG, that we got for RJ from that draft. So that draft brought us OG Anunoby.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good way of looking at it. I like where you're going there. Yeah, that works. Shout out to Knicks Live in the building. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you. It's not so much that Brunson needs to move the ball. The ball has to move, period. Anunoby and Bridges are energy players. They can't sit in the corner. Fair. And who puts them in the corner? Huh? Nobody puts baby in the corner. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Who never saw that movie? Tibbs never saw that movie.
It's true. There's a lot there.
Yeah, man. That's that's the coach, man. That's the coach. He draws up the plays. Ron, that's the New Orleans, not Zion. Well, I mean, listen, good eating is everywhere, and he actually slimmed down and trimmed down coming into the season because of all the flack. He got himself with a new trainer. I don't know, bro. He's still getting hurt. It's just his body is what it is. So we just got to deal with it. A shout out to him, all the talent in the world, but it just if I have to see him do another windmill dunk and go crazy with the crowd and then leave the game because you're not doing anything else, I don't know what else to say. I'm done with Zion. Kaput. You're a dookie, but you're kaput. All right. Anyway, let me get over to these guys with their final words so we get out of here. Obviously, there was more I wanted to talk about, but I understand that the Knicks game is coming up, and like I said, I want to get you guys over to, my guys Divine and Shah. Plus, please, guys, in the situations like this, when I can't get everything out, support the Discord. Join the Discord, and we can have conversations even while we're watching the game because it doesn't distract us to take anything away. Oh man, did you see that shot from OG Anunoby? Hold on, I'm typing. Anyway, D-Rex, final words, my brother.
There's one thing that I want to say. First of all, as far as the Kolek debate that his shot hasn't been falling, I wanted to bring up the point that I think people forgot. When he first started playing, he actually broke a Knicks record for most consecutive unmissed threes in Knicks history for a new player. He is historically a good shooter, but I'm thinking to myself, he's a rookie playing for Tibbs. He sees how this coach operates. He got Mikal Bridges over there, OG Anunoby over there, Cat over there. In his mind, he's probably like, I'm going to be the one shooting out of these four people, and he has to make his assists because that's what he does. He's the assist guy, right? So I think it's recalibrating. Okay, now I'm actually playing normally. I think his defense has been pretty good. Not like anything, amazing. DPOY for sure not, but can't remember the last time Jalen Brunson got a block, So I think confident, good defense. All we need from him, just decent, normal defense. All we need. And I think that these are things of to me, at this point in the season, it's inarguable. Now you're forced to rely on Kolek. There's literally no other option. You should have been playing him before, at least in blowouts, bro. At least in a blowout here and there, so we could figure these stupid things out. This is stuff that's just by repetition. Even Tibbs' own logic is you play the players, they get the muscle memory, they grind it out, that's how they get better. So then you're in a moment like this where he would rather burn the whole fire every nuke on planet Earth and play a rookie 1 minute in a blowout game. Okay, fine. Now you have no choice. So the team is suffering. So for me, these are things that like it bothers me. People say, "Oh, he can't shoot this and that." Like this could have been avoided. We didn't need to be in this position exactly. You know. And as far as what will come, I'm hoping for a Pistons first round because in my opinion, if we can't beat the Pistons in the first round, we do not deserve to progress. And the Knicks Bucks first round playoff would be the most like meaningless, pointless. We're going to be huffing our own. Oh my God, Tibbs did this and Doc Rivers did. Oh, they're so the chess match. Like, give me a break, bro. Give me a break with that. Give me a real first round tough opponent, the Pistons. We'll see how we're going to do against them in a week. And please, bro, no KD, no G, none of these, no washed up old guys, bro. You're going to say, oh, they still got it, this and that. There's a thing called the Knicks tax. You all know there's a Knicks tax, right? Peyton Pritchard from the Celtics, they picked up in the draft. Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, they picked up in the draft, I'm pretty sure as well. And they developed them from then till now. Jason Tatum played in the playoffs his rookie year, 2018. It's the CBA era. You're just going to go shopping like you're buying canned soup and, I'm going to take Giannis. No. First of all, they're washed up bums. I don't care how good they are. They're old. You already have an old, unathletic team with a very, very expensive starting five. So Giannis, KD, they're not going to come here and win you the chip. I promise you, KD is not going to come here and win you a chip. I promise you anything. If your goal is to have the slowest, least athletic team in the NBA, these are great moves. If that's your goal. If you want to win a chip in the young, athletic, fast-paced era, this is not it. This is not how you're going to do it. It's not how Boston did it. It's not how the Cavs did it. Nobody does it like this. You're paying a premium in an era where there's already a premium for these people. Just by buying this player, you already spent your whole asset. The only option, especially for the Knicks, is to draft. And by the way, we're good at it. So what's the downside? One thing the organization is good at now is they find these guys. I'm not a draft expert, but when I see these guys play and look at their tapes, I'm like, yo, this guy's pretty damn good at basketball. Dadier now, sure, up and down here and there, but he's had some fantastic games in the G League last 5 games. Huck 40 from the start of the season. My opinion, also Huck 40, he played from the start of the season. He could have had his meniscus blow out, get the surgery, and been back for the playoffs by now. These are what ifs, but it's like these are the reasons why you want to have these guys get some runs. So in my opinion, it's like this old, we always complain, the Knicks is heliocentric. And then you still have Knicks fans saying, get KD. Trade the whole team and the bench for KD. It's not going to be heliocentric. Like, what do you guys think here? These are things that drive me crazy. KD is 1,000 years old, bro. It doesn't matter how many minutes he plays. He's only won with Curry. That's a fact, right? And he's not a nice team player guy. And it's a very fast-paced league, and we're already the slowest-paced team in the NBA, maybe. Out of 26, out of 28, maybe. So we're going to have KD and Giannis. Then we're going to be number 1 in base? What? Like, come on. This stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like the older, which I'm not including Ron in this because Ron is, more level-headed. But some of these older, they see all of the highlights. They have the memories of KD. And only if you can do that on the Knicks, bro, it's done. It's over with. Draft your players, make your team understand the CBA, and win. And my opinion, who knows what happens this summer, but I think we're all a little iffy on their, maybe they do a miracle run, we're impressed, whatever. But for my opinion, where the team is headed next year is really strong. Really, really strong.
Yeah. I agree with that, D-Rex.
4 rookies in the G League. They're all looking really good. Playable at bare minimum. At bare minimum, playable, competent players. Better than our bench now, 1,000%. And all the players that we have are already going to be better. If there's not one player, I don't think, maybe Mikal accepted, that isn't better from the start of this year to now. So
that's fair.
I'm really optimistic. Give us the Pistons the first round and let fate decide. There you go.
Yep, there we go.
I got a balance, so I'm going to make mine a little bit different. I'm just going to say this. I wish we would have talked about Bridges a little bit, but I know it's an abbreviated show. I had a great time talking to you, as always. Thank you for always being a gracious host. Definitely press like and subscribe for my brother Ron. He has some dope. It's just a dope dude, man. Great guy, man. He's got some great pew-pews and I just downloaded Discord on a different. I was doing the computer, so join the Discord and come see Divine and Shah and probably me. Hope, but definitely them on Knicks Real Talk. Thank you for that. I think that we're going. I'm really nervous. I really believe we're going to end up in the 4th seed, but I think that is going to be a beneficial thing for us because that leads us through. That leads us to Cleveland, and I think we have a better chance against Cleveland than we do against Boston, and I'm okay with that. And I'm really okay with that. I don't see us keeping the 3rd seed the way that we're playing at this present moment. And we have a very tough schedule unless, and I'm going to say goodbye after this, unless Cleveland and Boston sit their players for playoff usage. But
I think they will. Jay.
It's the Knicks, so I highly doubt they would do that.
I think they will, Jay. And let me tell you,
got those kind of gimmies, bro.
Yeah, let me tell you something real quick. You never see this from Tom Thibodeau. But let me tell you something, Jay. If in the next games, not this one, maybe not tomorrow, but after these 2 games, if you notice that Tom Thibodeau starts to sit the starters, certain players aren't playing, then you know that the Knicks are trying to get to the 4th. I'm going to tell you right now, they ain't going to talk about it, but I'm telling you, they're going to be trying to get to the 4th seed. They're going to try to drop down to get to that 4th.
I actually believe that. I'll hit you up if I have any.
All right, bro. Yeah, do what you got to do. I'm gonna be over there watching like
family, man. God bless you. I'm sorry.
No, you got it. Appreciate you, brother.
Always, man. Peace, guys.
All right. Oh, where'd he go? What happened to my? Where did I? Oh, there you go. Boom. Okay. So yeah, man. It's gonna be dope. Let's hope the Knicks, I mean, look, I want the Knicks to get to 50. I don't care. However they get to 50, and if they lose every game after that, I do not care. I just want that 50 mark because this team is good enough to at least win 50 games. There are a lot of different things happened this year that kind of set us back a little bit, but they're a 50-win team easy. That's what they are. And if they stay in 3rd, it is what it is. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised on the sly if all of a sudden the Knicks decide to start resting starters and, for whatever reason. We did see it a couple years ago. Remember the year that Quickly was here and Obi Toppin was here, and all of a sudden Julius Randle had an injury and that he didn't play the last couple games of the season when he wasn't really hurt.
So Tibbs does know how to do it.
He knows how to do it. He knows how to do it. So yeah, it's just rare that we see it. So we'll see what happens with that. I appreciate everybody. I thank everybody for being here. Shout out to Knicks will be 2025-26 champs. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat. He says, when we see a team every game, our wing stop will become A level. Bridges and OG see a guy a few games in a row, and guys will be shut down pretty much. That's my secret weapon take right there, Parrish, that in my mind, that's the Knicks kryptonite for other teams. It's okay. We play different teams. You guys got our number. When we have to see you game in and game out, I think we will see how the Knicks start to make their adjustments and figure out ways to solve the problems that they have against these other teams. So I'm with you on that. I do agree with that. So we will see going forward. But once again, I want to thank everybody for being here. Shout out to D-Rex for being here with me. Shout out to Jay Chosen for being here with me and chopping it up. Once again, please support the show. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I hope you enjoy the content. We here rocking on Mondays and Saturdays. Once again, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans. We'll be back again, whether it be on Saturdays at 11:30 normally. Sorry for the delay today. Mondays at 9. Depending on if there's a game or not, it could be 9:30. But for SKF Weekly with myself, and depending on if we can get John, if he's not being the super dad, sports dad, and my brother Jose on the ones and twos holding it down with me. But continue to support. we'll continue to be rocking and look forward to more and more content as we go forward. We might switch things up a little bit and add a little something to the mix. Maybe it was time to add a little bit more. We'll see. Stay tuned. But thank you guys once again. Appreciate you all. I will catch you on the next one. Let's head over to Knicks Real Talk and show Divine and Shaw some love. I'm sure they're breaking down everything we need to know to get right for this game. It should be pretty dope. If you haven't already, check them out. Please go over there and show them support. That's Knicks Real Talk. Appreciate you guys once again. Thank you to everybody on X. Thank you to everybody on YouTube. Please share out this show if you are on X, as I always say. Thank you to everybody. And once again, guys, it's pinned to the chat, but join the Discord, man, so we can chop it up even more. As I said, going forward, we're going to get into, as the season progresses, we'll get into the Mets. We'll get into the New York Giants. So, yeah, man, it should be pretty cool. Thank you, everybody, once again. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Oh, and another thing, after the Knicks game, I don't know if it's going to air tonight, but look forward to me. I will be chopping up with Dexter Henry on a post-game show after the Knicks game. I don't know. Like I said, it'll probably air some point tonight. I don't know when it would drop, but salute. Appreciate everybody. Take care. I'm a holla. Laters.